Hello and welcome to Build Up to a Good Game. Kick-off 1 hour and 5 minutes away as West Ham United take on the champions of England, Manchester City. Erling Haaland in line for his first Premier League debut, and Gianluca Scamacca expected to be on the bench for West Ham United. Official lineups just over 4 minutes away. We'll grab them at an hour before kick-off. We're here for the duration of the game. You're stuck with myself for now. Charlie will be along a little bit later, and he'll be here right up until full time. Then I'll be back at full time for a little bit of a review as well. This is our most interactive show, so get involved in the live chat over there. If you're watching live, get involved. Let's see what you're thinking ahead of today's big game. Anyway, kickoff at 4:30 live on Sky Sports. We'll get the lineups in a few minutes' time. Now, new season, new rules. So let's go through a few of the tweaks to the Premier League this season. First of all, we've got that 5 substitutions, haven't we? Some clubs have used it over the weekend. Like Tottenham used their 5 substitutes. Wolves made 1. That was about 2 minutes to go. But you can only stop the game 3 times. So while you've got 5 substitutions, you can't stop the game 5 times. You can obviously make subs at half-time. That doesn't count. But you can then only stop the game 3 times in order to make your substitutions in the game. There's a new multi-ball system in the Premier League this season as well. We had it briefly during the COVID spell. We'll be used to it. So will Man City, to be fair, won't they? They'll be more used to it than us. Because obviously in European football, they have the multi-ball system. In the Premier League, they're used to just the one ball, but they've now got balls around the pitch ready to get taken on quickly. The aim is to try and speed the game up a little bit, keep the ball in play for a little bit longer as well. The referees this season are clamping down on time wasting. So goalkeepers and throw-ins in particular are being told to hurry up. We've seen a few yellow cards handed out this weekend already with time wasting, like Reece James against Everton yesterday. And also the referees have been encouraged to let the game flow a little bit more. Allow it to get a little bit more physical, if you like. A lot more advantage being played, I've noticed, in the 3.5 games I've seen over the weekend. Referees are more inclined to just wave play on and just, instead of giving 2 seconds to see if there's any advantage, they're allowing 4 or 5 seconds before bringing it back for a free kick as well. I think it's all good changes. If I'm honest with you, I think it's good changes. Anyway, let's see what's happening. I think the results have been encouraging in the Premier League so far this weekend. Palace got beat by Arsenal, gave them a game. Fulham getting a good result against Liverpool. Everton pushing Chelsea. Brighton currently leading at Old Trafford as well. It's encouraging for West Ham fans. It gets me a bit more excited. It makes me believe a little bit more that we are going to go and grab something from this game, if I'm honest with you. Anyway, right, with all that said and done, a couple of bits of admin. Just want to say a massive thank you to Stuart Morris Accounting. The link is in the description below. If you can't work out your numbers and figures, don't worry, because Stuart Morris can. If you are in need of an accountant, do give Stuart a shout. The link to his website is in the description. He's sponsoring the build-up show and the watch-along today. So massive thank you to Stuart Morris, because big supporters of the channel, and it just helps us out in a massive way. Got a little bit of a surprise for Charlie when he comes on. Charlie will come on around about 4 o'clock. Got a bit of a surprise for him, actually. I'm going to tell him live on here. I'm looking forward to telling him, getting his reaction. So yeah, exciting times really. But anyway, in the live chat, let me know how you're feeling ahead of the game. What you think of the lineups when they're out in 30 seconds as well. And just quickly, I just want to point in the direction of our Patreon. In the month of August, if you join our Patreon at supporters level, it'll cost you £3.60. If you join right now, it'll cost you £3.60. That's the all-in price. That includes the VAT and all that stuff. You pay £3.60. You will get all the videos that we do on Patreon in the month of August. If come the end of August, you're thinking that wasn't worth £3.60, just get in touch with us through email and we'll give you your money back. If you do like it, hopefully you do. We hope that you stick around and that you become a patron for the rest of the season. But in August, we're giving you the chance to try it, but get a refund if you don't like it. So go to patreon.com/HammersChat, or the link is in the description if you wish to get in below. We'll be live tomorrow morning, Monday morning, with our player ratings from this game. Gonzo's at the game today. I know a few of you might be thinking, where is Gonzo? Why is he not sat next to you? He's at the London Stadium. So you'll get a bit of an update from him over on the forum channel later on this evening. Anyway, well, we take a look at the West Ham team this afternoon. West Ham's first starting 11 of the season. In goal is Lucas Fabianski. In defence, we've got Kurt Zouma. Alan Creswell, Ben Johnson, Vladimir Sufal. Where's Dawson? Anyway, I'll discuss that in a second. We've also got Rice and Souček in midfield with Lanzini, Bowen, Fornals, and Antonio. Okay, I think it's fair to assume we're playing 3 at the back today. I think it's fair to say that we're playing Zuma will be the centre-back with Creswell on the left and Johnson on the right of him. Sufal wing back and Fornals probably left wing back. Then we'll see Rice and Souček in the middle with Antonio up front and Bowen and Lanzini in behind. Surely it's not a back 4 with Creswell centre-back and Johnson left back. I know the media team's done a graphic to suggest that that's the team, but as I'll always say, the media team don't know. The media team don't know what the formation is, and they just get the lineup and then they make the graphic off the back of that. So let me know what you guys think in the live chat. Do you think it's a back 3 or a back 4? I think this is a back 3. I think we can't be playing Creswell centre back. We just can't. I mean, there is a chance it's Johnson centre back next to Kurt Zuma, and then Creswell left back, Sufal right back. But even then, I struggle to convince myself that that's what we're going to be doing. I think it's a back 3. Bit of a blow not having Craig Dawson. But do you know something? I think, well, there you go. Yeah, everybody says it's a back 4, and Callum saying X said it's a back 4, but Johnson centre back. That's not good, is it? I think I'd have felt more comfortable with a back 3 in there because I think you got 2 inexperienced centre backs rather than just one. Yeah, that's a bit of a blow, isn't it? Having that sort of lack of defence. But you know something? This is where Aguero got injured against Rangers. How long ago now? 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago, Aguero got injured. When Aguero got injured, Dawson was injured at the time. We knew the Ogbonna situation. We knew Diop wanted out to go to Fulham. So I've got little sympathy, if I'm being honest, in regards to the lack of centre-back options today because he hasn't just got injured yesterday. I'm aware Dawson has been back and maybe was expected to be fit for this one. But even then, you're just running with 2 fit senior centre-backs for the opening game of the season. So I think we've almost taken a little bit of a risk, to be honest with you. I think we've decided that this would be the risk and we're going to run with it. I would have preferred to see Areola in goal, if I'm honest with you. But Fabianski's still a good goalkeeper. I'm expecting big things this season from Sufal. The centre-backs worry me. The left-back worries me a bit. Rice and Souček, normal midfield. And this attack caused Man City problems. That's what I will say, just to throw out there. This Bowen and Antonio in particular caused them all sorts of problems back in May. Obviously, we scored 2 goals as well. I'm looking forward to the front half of the team, the defensive side of it. So a bit iffy. It is a little bit iffy, if I'm honest with you. That feels like a bit of a blow, that defense, if you want. We're going to take a look at the West Ham bench now. We've got Areola and Randolph on the bench. Of course we do. 2 goalkeepers on the bench, alongside 1 defender in Harrison Ashby. We've also got Connor Coventry and Flynn Downs with Armstrong, Okaflex, Nikola Vlasic, Saeed Benrahma, and Gianluca Scamacca. I mean, the bench looks a bit light, doesn't it? I know Cornet was not registered in time, but even if you were to put him on and take Okaflex off, it still looks a little bit unbalanced defensively. We're missing defenders here. Buzzing to see Scamacca on the bench, so that's a boost. I mean, I know Moyes was trying to sort of blag it that he might not make it, but we've seen it plenty times, West Ham fans. We've heard Moyes do this time and time again, pretend a player's not fit and he actually is. So I think it's not a surprise to see Scamacca on the bench, but still a boost nonetheless. Means that if we need a goal scoring option, we've got one on the bench there. It's Benrahma on the bench, Vlasic on the bench. I mean, offensively, the dugout's not going to be looking too shabby today, which is funny. Last season, we usually had about 2 centre-backs and 3 full-backs on every bench and 1 attacker in Yarmolenko, and that was it. Now we've got Vlasic, Benrahma, and Scamacca and Okaflex on there. We've got 4 attackers on the bench today. There's just no defenders. So it's flipped round a little bit, isn't it? So, that's a blow. That defensive side is a bit of a blow there for West Ham. Sucks your optimism out a little bit, doesn't it? But anyway, that's only one of the teams playing today. So we'll take a look at the other team, which is, of course, the champions of England, rocking up at London Stadium for the 2nd time in 3 months. In goal for Manchester City this evening, we've got Ederson with a back 4 of Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, and Cancelo. Midfield three of Kevin De Bruyne with Rodri and Gundogan. Front three of Phil Foden on the right, Haaland in the middle, and Jack Grealish on the left. Now, one thing I sort of recalled after we did the preview was Jack Grealish against Vladimir Coufal in May. He ripped him to shreds, I thought that was probably one of Jack Grealish's best performances of the season last season. Came against West Ham at London Stadium, down that side against Coufal. So that worries me. I mean, look at the Man City team's a joke, right? But what I am going to say this when I did my opposition prediction over on Patreon for Friday. I said it then. I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to say it now. Cancelo next to Ake gives me a little bit of hope, because that is where we will have Antonio and Jared Bowen. That is an area that I think we can get at and potentially exploit a little bit in there. Antonio's physique against, well, he's now the second shortest centre back in the Premier League. I was going to say the smallest defender in the league. He's not, is it? It's Martinez at Old Trafford now. The second shortest centre back in the league, up against Antonio, and then Jared Bowen, hopefully up against Cancelo over there. And we saw them in May, them two linked up really well, and they had Laporte playing in that game. So I'm optimistic with that. But defensively, just it's a little bit concerning, isn't it? Anyway, we'll take a look at the Manchester City bench. Then I'm going to have a look and see what you guys are all saying in the live chat. The bench for Manchester City this afternoon, and it doesn't get any better, really. We've got Bernardo Silva, we've got Calvin Phillips, we've got Riyad Mahrez, we've got Johnson. 4 players. The first 4 players I've named would all start for West Ham today. We've also got Moreno, Rico Lewis, Alvarez, Wilson Esbrand, and Cole Palmer. That Wilson Esbrand is the old West Ham player, isn't he? He used to be at West Ham United, the Wilson Esbrand, left back, who's apparently ripped up for Manchester City in pre-season. But I think we tried to give him, we gave him a new deal. We offered him one, wanted to keep him. He just didn't want to stay with us. He opted for Man City. So, in a former academy of football player on the bench for Manchester City this afternoon. So, but yes, a very strong bench. Right, we've got a bet giveaway to do. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. If you're new around here, what we do, we compile a bet on Bet365. We stick a $5 on it, and if it wins, one of you guys wins the money. So what we're going to do, does anyone have anything that they want to put in? And now is the time to get involved in the live chat. Throw it in the live chat what you want to see in the bet. And, well, I might take your advice, I might not. I'm definitely putting in Coufal card, though. So let me put in Coufal card. In he goes. Vladimir Coufal to get booked. In he goes. That's in there, right? I'm not putting Zuma to be sent off in the bet. That's not happening. Where's player shots on target? Jared Bowen. There we go. Put Bowen in to have a shot on target. I'm not putting in Fabianski to drop the ball. I'm not putting in Gonzo streaking on the pitch. I'm not doing that. Man City 10 corners. Yes, this is slightly positive. Bowen, I've done Bowen to have one shot on target. Creswell to get booked is quite interesting. I've done Coufal, though. I think one's enough. I think one player to get booked is enough. I'm going for Coufal because he's up against Grealish. But saying that, other people want Creswell as well. Yeah, Man City corners seems to be quite popular. So let's get some corners chucked in here then. Both teams combined. We'll slap that in. Oh, West Ham going to score a goal. I feel like we've got to back that. Both teams to score, yes. What does that return? That's it. Right. It's only £75, okay? Gonzo's not here to throw wild stuff in there. But this is the bet. If this bet wins, one of you guys will win it. I'll tell you how to get involved in a minute. So we've got Vladimir Coufal to get booked. Jared Bowen to have a shot on target, at least 9 corners in the game, and both teams to score. It seems simple enough, doesn't it? It seems relatively straightforward. Both teams to score, Bowen shot on target, 9 corners in the game for both teams combined. Coufal to get booked, £75. And all you have to do is just comment in the live chat. It doesn't have to be anything in particular. Usually there's a phrase, but there isn't one. Instead, I would like your thoughts on the West Ham team, the Man City team, how you see the game going. So I don't want to get all, if I give you a phrase to put in, it's sort of like jams the chat, doesn't it? I almost like troll myself. I encourage you to spam. I don't want no spamming. I want to know what you guys think about the West Ham team, Man City team, how you see the game going. Not your score prediction, everything else. And let's see what you guys are saying. I was quite optimistic this morning, if I'm honest with you. I was, like I said, the results so far in the Premier League, the performances so far in the Premier League. Fulham had a pop at Liverpool. It's not like they didn't deserve the draw. They deserved it. They took the game to Liverpool. And for large parts, I thought they were a better team. So that's all sort of got me feeling, oh, you know what? We can do it. Spoke to Jason, a Man City fan. He said, the first 2 or 3 games of the season were usually a little bit iffy because we've not had a pre-season. Pep tries a couple of things. I thought, whoa, hey, hello. But since I've seen our defence for today, it sort of got me down a little bit. It sort of sucked the optimism out. Are we capable of getting something from this game? Of course we are. This is, 10 of the starting 11 that faced Manchester City back in May when we drew 2-2. The only player missing is Craig Dawson. Instead, we've got Ben Johnson. But that change is significant, isn't it? It's not a like-for-like replacement. Big game for Ben Johnson, though, might I add. I think his future... It's not in the balance in the sense that we might sell him. We won't sell him. But I think Ben Johnson's immediate future in the starting 11 is in the balance. I don't think he's really got a position in the team. I mean, it could be man of match today and he'd get dropped for next game if Dawson's fit. But, it's going to be tough for him, providing support for Soufal and then having to cope with Erling Haaland. I mean, his first games... If he is centre back in a back 4, that's his first game in a back 4. That's not a friendly, and it's up against Haaland. I mean, talk about tough starts. Anyway, right, let's see what you're all saying. Gary says we're not going to get the ball. It's going to be like watching a horror show. He's going to be behind this sofa. Dale says that we've got to put in 100%. Hope Hart gets us through. It's going to be a hard game all round, no matter what. Adrian says, write it off, roll on Forest. No score predictions. I don't like score predictions. I like to do it in one big go. They're not starting. I think what he means is, Belcar means is he's happy Silva, Mahrez and Stones are not starting. They've got 5 subs though. This is the thing. This is when I sort of, sorry, I've just seen you correct yourself. Sorry. This is where I sort of like don't like the 5 subs rule. Could you imagine we are 1-0 up and Pep's bringing on all those players? I mean, anyway. James says Fanal's been poor for quite a while, so big game for him. Needs to sort out his passing because it's supposed to be his best attribute. Facts Football, he's confident Bourne will continue form. Yeah, so am I actually. I'm looking forward to seeing Antonio and Jared Bourne today. I think they can cause Ake and Cancelo trouble. I'll be disappointed if we don't at least score 1 this afternoon. Lewis said it's a weird team, slow team, same team as last year, and we don't even have Ariola's distribution. He's quite downbeat. Lewis, this is the team, in your words, that drew 2-2 Man City. It's not quite the same, but I get where you're coming from. Kiriako says a team from last season, not a complaint. It's just injuries haven't helped. Webley says Soufal will be at his best today, while Slowbro says we need to sign a left back ASAP. Stephen says that Alan will rip our defence a new one today. And while Harley's a little concerned, but it's not anything that we can help. Injuries happen, bit of a shame. Midfield and onward is very strong, and you never know. Ian says Moyes knows what he is doing. I trust him more than a bunch of people who've never even coached at youth level. Well, speak for yourself, Ian. I think you'll find I did coach at youth level, but I get your point. Fair enough. But we're not here to... This is a fan channel. It's to gauge the opinions of football fans, which I think is important. You can't... I'm not saying you say this here, but a lot of people would say that fans are the heartbeat of football. So you can't really say that and then say, but when it comes to opinions, nothing matters, nothing counts. Away you go. So anyway, yeah, I get what you're saying, Ian. But I guess my counter argument would be if you don't agree with fans or you don't want to know what fans think, don't watch a fan channel. Sky Sports starting, so you can tune in and see what Guy Neville thinks of it. But then again, why listen to Guy Neville after his record as Valencia manager? So I don't know. Anyway. Alan says maybe Moyes has sent a message to board. I don't think he is, Alan. I just don't think he's got any players. The thing is, Aguero's obviously out till the World Cup. Cornet wasn't registered in time. But Moyes has then said, I need another 4 players. There's still 3.5 weeks of the window to go. So there's still a long time to get players in. It's just frustrating that Cornet was literally signed about 6 hours after the deadline, because he would have been a massive help just to have in the squad for today. But like I said, centre backs, I think we could have been a bit better prepared in that area. If Boyce does want an additional centre back, I think we could maybe have tried to get one into before today. Andy said optimism's dropped. Attack definitely the best form of defence. While Major says not being a negative Norris, but we take a 1-0 loss. I don't want negative Norris, Major, but I do want honest Addy. So that's your honest opinion. Give it to me. That's what I want. I want honesty, regardless of if it's perceived as. I'd much rather have somebody be honest and come across as negative than somebody just pretend to be positive for the sake of it, if that makes sense. Brian's saying a bit worried about backline. Where's Dawson? I believe he's got a small injury. Hopefully he's back for the Nottingham Forest game next Sunday, which we'll need him back after that. Nottingham Forest tactics from attacking corners. Did we all see that video of that Forest corner? They had a corner against Newcastle yesterday, and they were all about 25 yards out from goal, and they all just ran into the 18-yarder at the same time. The ball come over, and the keeper just caught it. So that was scary. Charlie says, Connie Irons, let's have a strong start to the season. Michael Levy Jr. is feeling doubtful. Team needs freshening up. Samuel says, City win, but we give them a good fight. Both teams to score. I think that's the most likeliest outcome at this point, Samuel. I think the likeliest outcome is Man City win. Both teams do score, and we do work hard. I think that's a fair prediction. Vinny says, Fabianski on the line literally has peed him off. Chuck says our defense is so weak. Dawson not even on the bench. Let's have a look at what you're all saying. Astrophos says it's not easy for playing Italy to come to play in the Premier League. This needs some time. The competition is way higher in the Premier League than the Italian League. Scamacca will play when ready. I'm okay with him just being on the bench, if I'm honest with you. I think, bear in mind, he hasn't had any preseason minutes either. I think it's understandable. And also, this is Antonio's shirt to lose. I think Antonio deserves to start the season as the striker. And then when either he doesn't make it, his form drops off, or fatigue kicks in, or for whatever reason, Scamacca gets his opportunity. But I think Antonio deserves to start as a striker. Logan says he thinks the back four will be solid. He's still really confident we can get something out of the game. Thomas says it's a poor window from us. The lineup and bench reflect that, and that's why Moyes said we need many more players. Scott's asking Charlie's doing the watch along. He is. Scott, don't you worry. Charlie will be along in 10 minutes roughly, and he will be doing the watch along right up until the full-time whistle. Eric said, it's all been said. Ariola's distribution would have been important. The defence doesn't look good. No speed on the left. I don't think we'll get anything out of this one. Richard's asking why Diop's on the bench. There's something funny going on with Diop, I think, Richard. Obviously, reports are that he wants to leave, and we're sort of standing in the way of it a little bit, either due to valuation, clubs not meeting what we want, or our lack of centre-backs, which I would understand if he was then available. But he was in France this week, and he put up some cryptic messages on social media saying that he was in Toulouse, and sort of people don't know what's going on with him, kind of thing, or something, so you can't judge him, or something along those lines. But I think the term unavailable is probably the best one to describe Diop at the minute. As to why, I'm not sure. Robert, yes, there's quite a few teams used 5. I think Tottenham did. I seen it early. I literally seen it about an hour ago, because every team had used 5, 4, or 3, and then Wolves had used 1, and it was more of a dig at Wolves because the Wolves fans are not too happy at the minute. But yes, there was a few clubs that had used all 5. But like I said, if you weren't here to start, 5 substitution rule in place, obviously, but you can only stop the game 3 times to make your substitutions. So quite important, I think. Brad said he thinks there's a surprise or 2 here. Oh, I'd like 2, please. Andy, do we think it's about 3, about 4? Well, I thought it was a 3. When reading out the team, I thought it was a 3. However, the live chat thought it was a 5, and a couple of people said X has said it's a back. The live chat thought it was a 4, and a couple of people stated that X has said it's a back 4 with Ben Johnson playing centre back. So I assume it's 4 centre back, back 4 today. Fax says we'll be strong at the beginning, maybe get an early goal since they're high pressure and they get hold. Yeah, I mean, they will play a high line, so that's encouraging, isn't it? So, fingers crossed. Mark says, I might not be surprised to see Rice at centre-back in a 3 with Creswell. I guess what you're suggesting is then Ben Johnson's left wing-back with Sifal right. I would be surprised, Mark. You may not be surprised. I would be surprised if we didn't have Rice at centre midfield for this one. But certainly an option. We're seeing him in pre-season. We saw Declan Rice switch to the 3 at the back. Colin Wood says that 5 sub rules a game changer for last weekend. Sub the goalkeeper twice and still make the 3 substitutions. Carl says he's looking forward to seeing Skamaka come on. His only positive comment. It did start positive. Fornals needs to play a pass like he did against City last time. That was excellent. He was good. These kind of games are sometimes when Fornals can play well. I think when actually we do play counter-attacking football, where almost because they're going to have more possession, actually Fornals' work ethic becomes important in games like this. I think it's when we have more possession or we're expected to attack the other team. I think Fornals sometimes struggles a bit because there's more emphasis on him to create something. So when he's poor on the ball that day, it gets a bit heightened, I think. Al says Creswell and Lanzini are too weak for this sort of opposition. Hammer Tilladai said, I'm worried we'll start slow today, but I think if we weather out the first half hour or so, we could settle and get something from the game. Lewis said, we wish we'd done some business earlier, so we had some new blood. If Gad says, if Cancelo played like he did in the Community Shield, I like Bowen and Sufal's chances to get forward. Thing is, he'll always get caught out of position, Cancelo. He's always prone to making fouls as well. So there is definitely an opportunity to get at that side. I want to see us focus more on the right. It makes sense with Sufal further ahead of Bowen and inside of Mikel Antonio. That is our strongest side. Is Manchester City's weaker side out of the two. I'm not saying weakest, weaker. That's where we need to. That's where we need to get down that side, I think. Anyway. Shizzle says if the attack is sharp, we have every chance. Lewis would have thought Dawson would have handled Haaland well today. It's a shame he's not playing. Soam says we need to get a proper left back in before targeting other positions. While Cyclone says that he hopes Skamaka arrive and fires up Antonio, not knocking him. We've not really had competition, but I agree with that, to be honest with you. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on, I guess, with Skamaka on the bench. And this is where Antonio can give 100% from the off, knowing that on the hour mark, if you're on your arse, you can get subbed off. Whereas last season, Antonio almost had to sort of like try and pace himself because he almost had to last 90 minutes. He doesn't have that pressure anymore. And I hope to see a bit of a different one, a bit of a different Antonio, essentially. Callum says, I don't think we'll get folded, but can't see anything but us getting beat. Sadly, City are just too good. I mean, that's a fair comment. You can obviously say that against 18 other teams in the league in regards to City. City are probably better. Bar Tottenham and Liverpool, I think you can say that against Manchester City. And the other two, I'd expect a tougher game this season. Sky Bet, you can bet on Cornet or Masuaku to score. Yeah, I probably wouldn't bet on either of those. Saying that, don't know how it works over there. They've got that Sky Bet club. You bet £25 a week, you get a free £5 bet for the following week. Might be worth putting £25 on Masuaku to score. Because you get £25 back, obviously. That might count towards your... so you might get a free £5 bet, essentially. Beating the system, I think they call it. Stevie C says, can't sit back. Fulham showed the way yesterday. Defend from the front, get at them. I completely agree with that, Stevie. When I was watching the Fulham game, I thought, yes, this is what I like. I like to see teams having a pop at the bigger ones. No white flag stuff. Let's see us have a go. And I would love to see us. Where do we take Connor Cody on loan? I'll cover this tomorrow or Tuesday, Elbow. But essentially, on loan, it depends. Because if we're going to play a back four, no. There's a reason Wolves are letting him go. Because they want to play a back four. And he doesn't suit it. He's too slow. But if we're going to play back threes, 100%. But he's got to be the one in the middle of the back three. Theo is pretty scared for this game. You take a 2-0 loss with signs of good performances. So losing 2 wonder goals will play well. Kevin says Sufal's getting back to fitness last season. Previously, he bossed Grealish. granted, playing in the back five. I mean, I remember him against Aston Villa. Sorry, I've just dropped my headphone, and Charlie's going to be here soon, so I've got to get my headphones sorted. I remember against Aston Villa when Soufal played in there, and then we had Fredericks ahead of him, and they kept Grealish out the game. But you can't really do it against Man City. You try and do that with Jack Grealish, and Phil Foden's running around in all the space you've just given him. Dean's getting ready to position himself behind the sofa. It's probably comfier on the sofa, Dean. I would recommend just sitting down there. But Richard's saying nobody's given us a chance. I think we before I saw the defence, I thought we'd get a draw. I had a sneaky feeling we'd get a draw. And most people want to win and hope we win and stuff. It's just not too sure. The bench. Let me have a click on it. Let me click on the bench for you. Let me click on the bench. There you go. There's the bench. Ha! Look at that, Charlie. I can do the bench. Anyway, jump on when you're ready, Charlie. And we'll right, in the live chat now, please get your score predictions into the live chat, and we'll see what you're all saying ahead of the game. How are you feeling, Mr. Walsh? I can't hear you. It's my headphones or is it your mic? Oh, it's him. Okay, anyway, get your let's see what you're all saying. JJ is saying 3-3. While S is saying 2-0 City. Major's 4-0 West Ham. Well, I think he said 4-0 West Ham. Yeah, he did. 2-2, 1-1. 3-2 says Gordon. 4-1 says Dave G. Hammer. 3-1 says Andy to City. 2-1 West Ham says Paul. Bowen is going to get the winner. Reed reckons it's going to be 3-0 City. While Mark says 2-0 West Ham. Keys 2-1 West Ham. Bobby's 4-1 City. OB1 is 3-1 City. Logan's 2-2. Harry's also 3-1 City. But Kevin is hopeful. He says 2-1 West Ham. 3-1 City. 1-1. 2-0 City. City don't look fit. 2-0. I think that's our advantage. That Man City fan got my hopes up a little bit by talking about how they don't have a preseason. This is essentially their preseason. Anyway, Charlie.
Yes.
This video, I'm sure you know this, but this video is sponsored by Stuart Morris Accountants. Can you do your speech, please?
I can. Ladies and gentlemen, can you be asked to do finances? Because I'll tell you what, I can't. I never can. And if you can't be asked, then you should ask Stuart Morris Accountants. You're accounting professionals based in Ilford, a West Ham fan run, which is why they help us make all of this stuff possible. So I would suggest if you just can't be asked, which is, what you shouldn't be asked to do at any point. I used to do it as a job. Trust me, it's a lot of effort. I would suggest hitting up Stuart Morris Accountants. Thank you very much. They'll be in my top corner in a second. Also, just to let you know, Gonzo asked for the StreamYard link, so he might be turning up at any second. Who knows?
Okay, at least you sent it to him. You did ask me to send it to him earlier, and I completely forgot. I forgot. Either that or I didn't want him to join. Not saying which. I'm not saying which, but one of them's true. One of them's true. Before we crack on with the show, Charlie, live chat, I have a special announcement. Stuart Morris Accountants, Charlie, got in touch and said they wish to sponsor this build-up show and watch. I'm very grateful. They also said they're going to purchase you one of these chairs.
Oh.
One of them.
Oh.
For you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll do this quick. The people who watch the watch-alongs will know how broken my chair is because, look, I'll just show you, right? So, I have a pillow, Simpsons pillow, because it's so broken at the back. I don't know if you can see. Can you see that crack there?
I can see the fact. Yeah.
That's on both sides, and I'm terrified at all times it's going to break.
Well,
I've had back problems for a month, and I've told you, Gio, about this for months. So thank you, Stuart Morris. I can't remember if you've ever wanted me to say your name. So I'll say Stuart Morris Accountants.
Yeah, I'm always like that as well. I'm always tempted to call him by his sort of West Ham name as well. But I don't know if he doesn't mind people knowing or not. So we'll stick with Stuart Morris Accountants. But yes, they are getting you a chair to match mine and Gonzo's for the new season. I might not have back problems soon. Let's go. Anyway, how are you feeling about the game, Charlie? I think there was a lot of optimism till the lineup came out, and then this sort of centre-back situation, I think, has sucked it out of people a little bit. And I think people now are starting to... Do you know something? What I will say, and this is meant to be positive, but it's going to sound really, really weird, right? People's optimism have been sucked out. So then now they're thinking Man City are going to win. But the score predictions are still 2-1 Man City. 3-4 years ago, an optimistic West Ham fan would have said, 4-0 Man City, maybe. Anyway, we're going to go live to the London Stadium, hopefully. And we've got Gonzo and Tony. How you doing?
We're all right, boys. We're all right. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, talk. Give us your thoughts.
Gino, it's raucous. It's raucous. Just from, I'm disappointed to see the goalkeeping situation. Fabianski in goal is not what I wanted, not what I expected. However, the rest of the team, I think you'll agree, is more or less what I thought. Am I right in thinking that Dawson is not playing?
Correct.
Tony, your thoughts? Same as you, really, mate. I was just hoping to see maybe one or two of the newbies start the 11 today. A bit of a statement from Moyes, but it looks like he's gone conservative. Those ones where if it goes well, we're going to praise him for it. If it goes tits up, we're going to moan about being too conservative. But yeah, I'd like to have seen Areola start. Maybe even if just Areola, that would have been something. But yeah, it's just a little bit too much of last year, and that's like 11 for me.
Just quickly,
Gio, I'm sure. Go on.
Give us a score prediction from you both, and then get yourself to the bar.
1-1. There you go. I'm still going for a Desmond's, Gio.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll just get rid of him.
Internet connections. Am I right?
It's not too bad considering it's better than I thought it'd be. Anyway, Gonzo definitely said 2-2, and I think Tony said 1-1, but I'm not 100% sure what Tony was saying there. But anyway, there's live from London Stadium. That is Gonzo and Tony. Anyway, what are you
also
saying,
big fan of get yourself to the bar, as if we both know they haven't been there for a significant.
I know,
amount
but
of time
it's just a way of kicking them off, really.
Okay, fair.
It's just a polite way of saying off you go. Your connection's not great. Off you piss. Do you know what I mean? It's just politer, isn't it? I said 1-1 in the preview, Charlie, and do you know something? I'm going to stick with it.
Oh,
I am because am I confident that in this defense holding Man City? No, clearly not. I'm not predicting a clean sheet. However, I think because of it, we will play 5 yards deeper. We'll sit on our 18-yarder for large parts of the game. And City will break us down eventually, but I think that just plays into our hands in regards to counter-attacking football. And if we can get Bowen up close to Michail Antonio as often as possible, them two will cause Ake and Cancelo issues. I want to see Antonio over on that side, by the way. I don't want to see Antonio going up against Diaz and trying to outpace Kyle Walker. Get on the other side of the pitch, get yourself up against Nathan Ake, and just try and bully him for 90 minutes, essentially. That's what I want to see. Am I confident? Not really. But it's probably just sort of opening game optimism. But
sure.
At the end of the day, we gave them. It was only 3 months ago. This team, minus the Dawson thing, this team drew 2-2 with them, and we were unlucky to just draw that game. So I'm going to stick with 1-1. Actually, I think. Do I expect a draw? No, I expect to get beat. It's Manchester City. I expect Manchester City to win 35 games this season. Will they? No, they will drop points. But it's a case of, well, who's going to be the teams that do well enough to nick points off them? And a couple of weeks ago, obviously before the lineup, so you said to me, name 3 teams that might nick points off Manchester City. I would have given you Liverpool, Tottenham, and I think I would have put West Ham in there as well. And I said, you know something? I fancy us. I fancy us to get something against them. There's no team in the Premier League I feel that much anymore that I don't think we're capable of getting points from. So the ground will be buzzing today. I think Scamacca on the bench will give the crowd a lift. So yeah, I'm going to stick with 1-1.
I like it. The thing is, I would have 100% agreed with you if we had a better defense. That's my big concern. I think I would have put us up there as well as a team who could nick points off City. We've shown we can do it. We beat them in the cup, but I think that was built on being very, very, very good defensively. I remember watching them passing the ball around in that cup game, just being completely unable to find any sort of space or rhythm or just anything. And that was the bigger thing for me, is looking at that. I'm confident we'll do what we were going to do attacking wise anyway. You know what I mean? Like you say, I trust your opinion on these things better than my own. And so if you're saying, look, that left side for them is a little bit sus to some extent, then I'm like, okay, that's going to give Bowen some room to maneuver. Maybe that'll make them think about it a bit more. I think attacking wise, I'm very confident. And as you brought up before I went off to get drinks when I typed in the bench and stuff, we've got a lot of attacking players on the bench. And it gives me confidence that actually we're going to do our thing going forward. But defensively, I think even if we were to have the best defensive performance this side can put out, I'm not sure that's enough to keep them at bay in the same way I would have thought. I'm not sitting here very negatively. I'm actually really excited for today. I can't lie. I'm hyped, and it might be that preseason optimism you're talking about. But I think we can give them a really good go today. But I don't think we'll be able to come away with any points. But as long as we have a good performance from the attacking side, then when we start to get actual defenders fit again, then I'm more than willing to wait for that. I can understand that to some extent. It's, to use your phrase, I think it's a little bit of a free hit for David Moyes in that sense to some extent.
Anyway, I'm going to disappear, Charlie. I'm going to go watch the game. So enjoy the watch along, and I'll catch you at half time.
Thank you very much, Gio. I appreciate you for coming. Also, hello, everyone. How are we? I appreciate all you for coming as well. It's the Premier League, baby. I said it like that. It's back. And I want to know your confidence levels on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least confident possible, 10 being the most confident possible. How confident are you of a West Ham result today? Stu, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well too today. I am. I'm sunburnt because I just got back from holiday. And the last day specifically, I spent all of it outside, and I'm struggling. But apart from that, I'm all good. I'm all good. And I hope you're well. Good result for you guys at the weekend. I didn't even watch the game, but I saw your review. Enjoyed watching that. I was very excited. Chuck, good to see you. And, Bobby, good to see you. Leonardo, what's up? Prem is back. It is Leo. Come on, your irons. Good to see you, sir. Look at it. All of the big boys in today. All of the big boys. Skamaka goal. Love that. We'll come off the bench. Danny is also here, although I think the camera's out of position. Wait, hang on. There we go. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. Let's have a look at some of these numbers. Actually, before we go through the numbers and why you start putting them in, let's run through quickly the teams. They're obviously running along the bottom of the screen, but just in case you want them big and bold and in your face, let's have a little look at those. That should work. It does. What a time to be alive. West Ham, the home side, line up as such. Fabianski in goal. Kufal, Zuma, Cresswell, and Johnson in defence. My gut says it should be a back five, like Gio was saying with Fornals at left wing back, but X has said it's a 2 at the back and Johnson centre back. If so, good luck. We'll see. Rice and Souček in midfield in a sort of double pivot thing, or potentially a 3 with Lanzini and Bowen, Fornals, and Antonio making up the rest of the lineup. Scary. We can't lie about it. However, the substitute bench, although a bit iffy, there's some good stuff in there. Areola, Randolph, and then Ashby, Coventry, Downs, Okoflex. Lots of youth players in there. Vlasic, Benrahma, and Gianluca Scamacca. So potentially a debut for 2 players on that bench. Some youth players involved there. I quite like it. It's not great, and defensively we are very, very weak right now. We're very light right now. But the actual forward line, that's very exciting. You know, you're looking at like Ashby, Coventry, Okoflex getting the youth players. Then up front, you've got flipping Okoflex, Vlasic, Benrahma, Scamacca. Exciting. However, Edison, Walker, Diaz, Ake, Cancelo, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden, Erling Haaland, Jack Grealish, and then just in case that's not bad enough, Ortega Moreno, Phillips, Stones, Alvarez, Bernardo, Mahrez, Palmer, Lewis, and Wilson S. Brand. So, you know, not exactly the best thing you love to see in your life, but we move. Let's have a look at some of these numbers then, shall we? 5.5. 6 says Keith. 7, love that. Can't say, should I have pizza or jacket potato with cheese for dinner? I would say pizza. I love pizza, but I could go for a jacket potato today, Major. I can't lie to you. If it was me, I'd go for the jacket potato. 2, 1, very fair. Joan, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're all grand. 10, big place. Love that from Joan. Love that. 7 out of 10. Let me just press that because I forgot to do it. Harry, Robbie, and Bobby says hello. Hello, Harry, Robbie, and Bobby. Harry, Robbie, and Bobby. HRB, how are you? I hope you're well. 10, easy 2-0 dub. Love that. Dean, unless you're a Man City fan, but I think that's why something in your background. So, love that, Dean. Yes, 4-0. Like always, a big number, says Leo. Big plays. Scott, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're well. It's good to see you again as well. I hope you're all good. Hope you've had a lovely summer. Disagree with you as per usual, but love to see you. How long it's been since Cresswell started at left centre back? I don't know. Did it a couple of times in pre-season, to be fair. Afternoon, Charlie. Some for the draw. Good to see you, Mike. Love that. I'll take that. -10 says the Broomfields. Don't really blame you. Well, maybe a 2-2, 8-3, 4. Let's keep going. I want to see some of these numbers. If I'm skipping over your thing, I'm just looking for numbers right now. I'm more confident than your confidence in your seat holding your upright for set 90 minutes. So it could be not very, to be fair. It could be not very. You know, we can't stress it. Richard, hello, Danny, and the guy that talks. I'm a solid 7 for today. We'll take that. Good to see you, Richard. Danny, you happy with how you feeling, Danny? He's giving you a solid 7. I also saw the camera wobble there because of my washing machine, but still 7. I think we'll be having 7 first half, 6 and second. That defense has made me a 4 out of 10. Megan, I can't act like I don't agree with you because I kind of do. That's my problem with it. I'm confident going forward. The defense is where I'm concerned. And, you know, you give Man City a bit of room. They control the games. It's a stress. 3.5. Rice playing centre-back today, says Jason. That's actually a shout, Jason. That is actually quite a good shout. I hadn't even thought about that being a thing. I hope it's not. But he's very good there. But I hope it's not. Souček and Lanzini, double pivot in midfield. Concerning, I don't know. Would love to see Vlasic come on and score. Yeah, so would I, JTD. I'm not going to lie. So would I. Smack goal, 4 out of 10. Get to half-time 0-0 and goes. Then a goal in 60 minutes and hope not to concede 2. I would take it, Belcar. I can't act like I wouldn't. 5, 7. Rumcam is back, baby. Rumcam. Lewis. What a shout. What an absolute shout for a name there. Lewis, I'm going to write that down because I need to come up. The next watch along is going to be a bit more high production than this. So I'm Rumcam. That is a shout. Also, Paul, I still have your name written down here if you're here to DM you. I apologize. Rumcam. What a shout. Sorry, I'm having a moment, people. Logan, good to see you, 7. Give a streamer like, hey everyone, let's see what we can do today, right? In pre-season, we were hitting the sort of like numbers we wanted to properly on the competitive fixtures. We're at 130 right now. Can we hit 300? That's the goal, as per usual. Let's swing for the fences and see if we can do it. So like the video if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new around here, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on future videos. Because remember, we're the only channel last season in West Ham to do a watch along for every single game, and we're going to try our best to live up to that this season. There might be one I missed for certain reasons, but apart from that, we really want to make it happen. And so if you want to get involved, which we need you, because I do this by myself, it's more important that you're here than I'm here, to be honest, because you're the ones who make it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on future stuff. And hey, like the video, because then it pushes it up in the rankings. People like to see it, blah, blah, blah. You know how that stuff goes. You understand. Listen, you got it down, bruv. You've got the whole set. I don't even have a green screen. You got it down, bro. If you haven't already subscribed, by the way, to the Sable Team, make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. I can see a Souček goal today. Late arrival was Ake was I'll take a Souček goal. I say that as if I wouldn't take a goal from literally anyone today. I'd take anything, but I would love a Souček goal. Di Canio up front would be helpful. I'd be one. Wayne, good to see. I'm less confident. I'm less confident now. Man U lost. Never seems to be able to take advantage of that. 5. You're not wrong, Wayne. You're not wrong. Fair shout. Very fair shout. Cresswell not centre back. We'll see. We'll see, Dogland, what it ends up being. The rumours are that Johnson is centre back. Hey, if we're playing 3 at the back, maybe that means Rice. I don't know. We'll see. Leonardo, good to see. Why not Alphonse Areola? Because David Moyes has his favourites, and that's just the way it goes. Areola will be number 1 by the end of the season. It's just going to take time to slowly work through it, I believe. 6. Last time we were negative. Look what happened. Last season we were negative. Look what happened then. Robert Singleton making strong points, looking strong points today, and I respect that. That's kind of, I think, what Gia was saying, right? The fact we're all sort of down means we can only better our expectations to some extent, unless we get battered like 5-0, but you know, we'll see what happens. Danny DeVito looks quietly confident today. He does. He doesn't try to, he's got a little smirk on. Do you know what I mean? He tries to remain sort of calm, but he does have a little smirk on his face as if to say, I'm quite confident. Defense is a little weak, decent midfield and decent attack. I'd say 6 out of 10. Balanced JTT, I'll take that. Hope Ben Rama will not be on the bench like last year. He's on the bench today. Hopefully he can make a bit of an impact. Of course, he's got competition now in Cornet as well as everyone else. Okaflex also on the bench, plays in that position. So we'll see what happens. Rumors that there's people interested in him. Interested to see where that one goes over the next couple of weeks. Cornet wasn't registered in time, Mark. He signed a couple of hours past the deadline for this weekend. So he'll be involved in the squad next weekend, almost certainly, but this weekend, unfortunately, he just wasn't about. Right, centre-back, says Jason. Yeah. Cannot wait to see what Skamaka can do. I have high hopes for him to do well. Part of me is concerned about it, being a big guy, but I just want to see him come on and cause havoc. Could be a great substitution today. I don't know how fit he is, how match fit he is. The rumors are he's just not enough. But the idea of just having a big guy like that who can move, who can cause some trouble, maybe coming on later in the game when Antonio and Bowen have run him ragged, that could be exciting. That could be very, very exciting. I'm not going to lie. And Lee's here as well. Lee, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Hope you're good again. Another channel you should subscribe to. If you haven't already, Lee is good dude. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, as I've just seen Mulch here, I saw Ben at centre back and Cresswell at left back, and I thought it was meant to be the other way around. Like we've done it before, but it makes sense as Cress provides more going forward, and those red card mistakes at centre back. Yeah, I think especially the going forward bit, I think is a grand shout. Bold GP, I would take it. I think that's a bold shout. I think the idea of Cresswell going forward is the important bit here, because realistically, like you say, Ben Johnson, no offense to the guy, he's just not that good going forward. He never has been on either side, and especially at left back, he's not going to exactly whip in a ball first time with his left foot, is he? So there's part of me which just thinks that is actually quite smart. We're going to need to be able to sort of play through that, and if we don't have the ability to cross, we're going to have to take our chances today, and we're only hampering that basically if we don't have if we don't have Cresswell. Let's be real about it. Romano tweeting Benny and Velázquez to be sold again would be interesting. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Squad depth wise, is a thing. Yeah, Paul, like I say, this is a bit of a mess, but you're in the middle of it in big words, Paul DM. So I will get back to you, I promise, and that might be a thing I'm actually going to run this season. So I apologize because I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Madman, good to see you, my friend. Well, butter my bread and call me Bertie. Ooh, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're good. Hope you had a lovely summer. Good to see you back. Let's do a bit of sub bingo, because of course this one we have 5 subs this year. So importantly, we might have more subs. Now, will we? I doubt it. It's not the way David Moyes goes, but we have the ability to. That's the important thing. And so, with that in mind, and seeing the subs bench, which I will pull up now and just lob there for you all. There you go. What minute will the first substitution happen, and who, importantly, will it be for? Now you just have to give the minute to be for the Dubs, but I would like to know who you think is going to come on and when, because with 5 subs, some interesting players, some youth players, a couple of debutants potentially with Downs and Skamaka, for example. There's a lot going on in that bench. What are we saying? I will go 69 minutes as per usual, because I'm me. And do you know what? I think it's going to be Ben Rama for Lanzini. Probably, yeah. Ben Rama for Lanzini is what I'm going to go for. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. What are we vibing? And while I do that, I should remind you that if you're not able to watch the games on Sky Sports Today in the UK, and obviously international broadcast partners around the world, but there are ways you can do it. If you scroll down into the description below, even there's a bit there that says join our Discord. It's completely free to join. Lovely Hammers chat community. Talk about anything you want in there. But more importantly, on the left hand side, there's a bit there called Stream Links. If you click on that, then you will find what you are looking for. And once more, I should give a massive shout out to MulchMite. I saw the comment a second ago. I clicked on it. Now it's lost. Give me a second. I'll find it. I'm just going to keep talking until I see it. There we go. MulchMite128. If you haven't already subscribed, do so. Who made that graphic? Because it's just beyond anything I could do. In Lanzarote. Love that. I might get onto that soon. I'm well. Sunburnt, but I'm well apart from that. Seen Luke Legend in there as well. Good to see you, Luke. Seen everyone in here. Just what grand old time. Lots of people. But let's have a look at some of these sub bingos. Because I'm feeling, as we're getting closer now, I'm getting a bit more confident, getting a bit more excited. Something's happening. We also have, actually, Baby Bells are on offer today. I should say that. They are in the offering. So we'll be able to focus. focus. It's probably focusing on DeVito's face. I should have thought about having that. But we do have baby bells here in case it's necessary. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one open here and just sort of eat it in a sort of good tidings to the season. But if there are baby bells necessary, we do have them. I went and bought some earlier. There you go. There you go. Let's have a look at some of these sub bingos. If you make 3 separate subs, then a game is stopped for later for an injury. Can you make a 4th sub? That's a great question, Wayne. I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. I have no idea. I barely understand how the new rules work. And I was just sort of hoping that David Moyes, as per usual, would never make any subs. And that way I wouldn't have to understand the rules. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. If anyone has the answer, do say. Do say. Good. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas indeed. Why not? You know, I went to the Christmas shop. It was very festive. It was very festive. Indeed. Right, here we go. 84th minute, Antonio for the Macca is probably a very strong shout, Paul, if we're being honest about it. I did not. I'm still catching up on everything after being away. I'm lost and scared, Rebecca. I'm lost and scared. You know, I'm lost and scared. I had a dream that Scamacca came on late and scored the only goal. I've never had a dream like that. That can only be a good sign, Tasman. I'll be honest with you. I've never had a dream like that either. I feel like it can only be premonition-y. You know, I went on holiday, you know, last couple of days. I've been to Glastonbury. So I've been in that sort of realm. And I feel like I feel like that's a thing. It's a moment. Let's put out the vibes. Need a baby belt and an orange for this. Yeah. I did have a massive pint of orange juice just before the stream, which is probably why my stomach is so unhappy. But I did do that. 57th minute, Scamacca on, Lanzini off. Ooh, I do think we'll ski. The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see Scamacca today, but at the same time, I do think we will. What am I saying? Basically nothing then. I understand that. But you see what I'm saying? I think there is something here. Discovered a new beer last night. Spitfire Lager, 4%, bloody lovely. Listen, if you're a beer drinker, get on. Major's got good opinions. Major, by the way, Major, the last preseason friendly I did, I was going to get a kebab if you rocked up, but you weren't there. We'll probably try and do it at some point during the season now when it's a good match to do it in. But it will happen, Major. It will happen. Benny and Scamacca on for Lanzini and Antonio, 70th minute. Cheeky double. A cheeky double. You'd love to see it. We will not use 5 subs for Vlasic at 65. Eric, I agree. Ben Rama, 65 minutes for Lanzini, followed by Scamacca for Antonio on 70. Look at that. It's just solid. Ogbonna, Tom is still not fit. He's still recovering from his obviously horrendous injury, so he's just not ready to play competitive first-team football. And Dawson has an injury. Ben Rama, 56 minutes, 88th minute, downs for Antonio is a good sign because that means we're probably winning. Luke, is the way I'm taking that. And I'm choosing to take it like that. And you can't convince me otherwise. But yeah, 55th minute, Scamacca for Antonio after he pulls up. Stress, kicker, stress. But, you know, we'll take it. Really curious to see Ben Johnson at centre-back. Thinks he could be really good there. Look, I think he has the ability to do it. It's just never filled with confidence. Although in the Lens fixture, was it Lens? I think it was, where he started at left centre-back, but he shifted over to right centre-back. I thought he was significantly more comfortable at right centre-back. That's something we'll see playing through, but we'll see what happens. 55th minute, Scamacca for Antonio after he pulls up. I've clicked on, and I've done it again now just to stress me out, apparently. 80th minute, Willie plays, good to see you. Would love to see Okaflex getting some game time. As would I, to be fair. I don't think he's ever going to make it at West Ham, but I would love to see him given that opportunity to. 7 minutes, Antonio for hamstring. Stress. Cresswell half-time. Stress. 65 minutes, Ben Rama. 70th minute, Benny for Lanzini. 57 minutes, Scamacca on. Ben Rama, 75 minutes, 5 subs, 70 minutes. Yeah, I know, it's not going to happen. 78 minutes, Ben Rama for Zini. 8th minute even, when Zuma gets injured and we have no defenders left. Stress. I need a button I can press and the word stress just comes on. Do you know what I mean? Subs, the only subs we'll get today is sandwiches. I'd take that, Joan. I can't lie to you. I would love a Subway. I've already had Greg's today, but I would love a Subway. 61st minute, Skamaka, 65th minute. We'll take some of that. We'll take some of that. I better come on, you guys. Why not? No, I'm good. I'm good, True. I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate the offer. Apparently, I'm already getting one for a start. Secondly, I could use a second one, but I'm never ever going skinhead in my life, so it's fine. I've got a very weird shaped head. That's all the information you're going to get. Val, hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great summer. Good luck for us this one. Listen, we got it. I'm going to have a bit more baby milk. Just going to sort of tiny it over the course of the build up to the game. So we're there. Remember, we are only about 3.5 minutes away from kickoff. So if you haven't already, make sure to like the video because we're going to try and hit 300 today. And subscribe, put bell notifications on because last season we were the only West Ham channel to have never missed a game. That's right. We did a watch along for every single one. Couple were iffy, but we did do one for every single one. So if you want to get involved in future ones, make sure you don't miss it. Hit the bell notification while you're there. And like I said, 300 likes is the goal. And we are absolutely flying. We're at 196 already. Now, if you're looking for a way to watch the game, of course, because it is on Sky Sports, then there are ways you can do it. I'm putting that up while I drink water because I have Baby Bell stuck in my throat, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad sign, you know? Never happening, GP. Never happening. Anyway. Skamaka in the 83rd. Again, it's probably quite a... But yes, this is Skamaka bingo. Yeah. I'll back it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing Skamaka bingo. What I want is the exact minute we will see Skamaka get substituted on today. Now, if you think he won't get substituted on today, I want to see... in all caps, the word no. Okay? But if you do have a time, then a little bit in there. Let's get a bit Skamaka bingo going. Love that from you. That's a shout. I'm annoyed I didn't even think about that. Good to see you, Hamed. Good to see you. Right, I am going to try and find myself a way to watch the game because I am, of course, in Danny DeVito's holiday home in North Idaho. Is that not right, Danny? Yeah, cheeky boy. Rub his head for luck. There we go. Because it's Sky. So, you know, that's the way these things go. So I'm just going to have a quick gander and hope that works. Let's have a look at some of these. I have no clue when the third kit is out. I'm not going to lie. I know, but I've seen people talking about it quite a lot. X has spoken publicly about what it is. Will it be that? We'll find out. 77th, 68, 62. No. 81st, 73, 70th. No. Let's have a solid start. Love that. 79, 73rd, 50th. Skamaka 75 minutes after waiting on the touchline for 7.5 minutes. M. Collingwood, accurate as per usual. I can't lie to you. That's one of the more realistic shouts we've seen. 65th minute. Doing a watch along on your own is hard. Doing it with others is easier because you can bounce off each other. That's the thing. Stu. Like, and that's why the chat is kind of a necessity for this sort of thing, and why I'm always bigging them up, because without them, it literally doesn't exist. It would just be me being an absolute weirdo by myself. That's also why he's here. My G. No. Hope to be wrong. Yeah, same. Half time would be nice. 65, 72, 72, 45. All caps, no. Thank you, James. I did say that. You are the most accurate person because I did say that. Skamaka 83rd, 92nd for last 10. I'll take the last 10. He's a large lad. He's a large man. I'll, of course, have the timer up here, by the way, which will be exactly where I am in the game. So if you wish to figure out where the heck I am compared to you, then that'll be as accurate as I can make it. Will it be accurate? I don't know. We'll try. I'll go orange cake. That's apparently what it is, right? Skamaka on at half time. We'll take on the hour. I'd take that as well, to be fair. I'd take that as well. 57, 45, 68. Gotta be 45, 80, 69. Let's go. Rice smiling, good start. I'm repping the Rice, the Hammers Chat Rice merch today. You can't see, my hair's in the way. It says Rice 6 on the back. 72nd, 45. Wait, Wally, I see hello, Wally. Wally, if you're here, I can't see your comment, but Wally, shout out, my G. How are you? He'll score after 1 minute after comment on the 69th minute. Let's go. Crowd is loud. They do sound to have some volume today. Here we go, baby. Let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to join the Discord if you need a way to watch the game. I would highly recommend it. Link in the Discord. I'll lob that up one more time as we are live at the London Stadium for the opening of the 2022-23 Premier League season. It's West Ham United hosting Manchester City. It's a big game. It's a big situation, and I'm very excited to watch it all with you. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It's time to run 2 things. Let's go, baby. Deploy the boys. West Ham United, Manchester City. Let's go. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Let's go. Let's go. 89 appearances, 86 goals for Borussia Dortmund for Erling Haaland. Show off is how I'm going to wide that. Show off. Who's Haaland? Haaland or Cresswell? Easy Cress. It's Haaland. Easy Cresswell. Make sure if you haven't already, just click on the stream link section. Deploy the boys. Let's go, Leo. Yes. Yes. Right, here we go. Haaland to kick off for Manchester City. Flipping out all the way from Korea with 2,000. I'm not sure what that thing is, but 2,000 common hours for Korea. It is 12:30 a.m. here. Welcome. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good time. The team is about to kick off. Here we go. The first initial whistle has happened. Everyone takes the knee. Here comes the second. And we are underway. Come on, you Irons. West Ham United versus Manchester City. Let's go. Let's go. It's Claret Blue Army. Indeed. Indeed. Right. Let's move. Korean 1. There we go. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for 2,000. That's much appreciated. Lobbing that into the full-time fund, the grand old time for us. Thank you. Genuinely, massively appreciate it. Shout out Korea. Shout out Korea. You know what I mean? Big ups. No, I'm going to have to quickly try and fix that in the thing. How am I even going to tie it? Just look like a script. I'm going to try and copy and paste the name and just see what the font does with it. Ooh, looks like it worked. Looks like it worked to some extent. I wasn't expecting it to, but it looks like it has. Once more as well, of course, if you haven't already, shout out to Stuart Morris Accountants. You're accounting professionals. If you are looking for some sort of someone to do your accounts because you can't be asked like I never can be, then I'll tell you what, there's no better option than Stuart Morris Accountants. Based in Ilford, West Ham fan ran. That's why they hooked us up and make all this possible. Check them out if you haven't already. Good start from West Ham. Pablo Fornals on the left-hand side manages to dink it past. A little bit of a cheeky cut back on Kyle Walker. Nice play there from West Ham. Cresswell whips the ball in. Antonio's there, gets the touch on it. Can't quite get the control, and it is a corner. It is a corner. We've come out the block strong here. I tell you what, a strong start would be a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a corner to West Ham from the right-hand side. We started this game strongly. We've put them under pressure early doors, made it difficult for them. And now we've got all of the boys in there. It does indeed look like Aaron Cresswell's playing at left-back, though, for those who are interested in that scenario. Here comes the ball in. Whipped in, looking for maybe Thomas Souček at the front post. Zuma headed it back towards goal, can't quite find it. Hit by Jarrod Bowen, deflects off one of the Man City defenders and back out to Pablo Fornals on this left-hand side. Takes a touch, puts it back in towards goal. Header just over from Mikel Antonio. Good start. Good start. We're liking this. We'll be taking this, ladies and gentlemen, all day. Whipped into that near post, looking for Thomas Souček there. Zuma at the back post, nods it back across it. That dribbles about a bit. Jarrod Bowen gets the hit. Deflects off the defense. Second ball in from Pablo Fornals, and Antonio rises to get the head on it. Souček just over Souček. Antonio gets a glancing header, tries to get it over. Edison can't quite manage it, and it's out for a goal kick. Great start from West Ham. Early doors, 2 minutes, and we look decent. Now, starting strong. Edison's down as well. Could work out well for us. I hope he's okay, though. starting strong, good stuff. We want to be able to give ourselves a little bit of room. We don't want to be defending for our lives while on a 0-0 or losing to Manchester City, because at some point we are going to have to be defending for our lives a little bit more. And we really hope that's not going to be the case. If we can get a goal before reverting to that sort of defensive stance, that could be massively beneficial for us. Best team in the world for 2 minutes, mate. Listen, and we'll be taking that all day, all night. We'll be taking that all day, all night. Do you think Moyes rates? I just think Moyes doesn't particularly want to play. Look, in Moyes' position, he's always right. I'm gonna try and be fair to him. In Moyes' position, where we've always had something massive to play for, be it trying to get European football or in the first time he's been here trying to survive. It doesn't surprise me that he hasn't been too enamored with the idea of playing youth players consistently. Everson with a puffy eye. I think he got a cheeky elbow maybe from Haaland there during the corner. He's still on the pitch. So I just don't think he wants to play youth players in general, Jeffrey. I will say this, Okaflex does not scream a Moyes type player to me in any way, shape or form, but I would love to be proved wrong on that. Skamaka Bingo, 70th minute, Stephen. A lot of people saying 70th minute, and I'll tell you what, I would be very excited about that. I'd be very excited if we managed that. I'm not going to lie about it. Manchester City passing the ball around in their defence right now. We did look to pressure them first time around, but this time we sort of just let it lie. Nathan Ake passing the ball to João Cancelo, who started at left back. Now, I'm interested to see once they get a little bit further forward what our sort of sitting defensive formation looks like. Is it a back five? Is it a back four? It looks... Right now, it sort of looks vaguely like a 4-2-3-1 to me. To me right now, it looks like a 4-2-3-1. The back four from right to left being Soufal, Johnson, Zuma, Cresswell. That's the way it looks. Let's see how that goes now. Manchester City are on the attack. Down the left-hand side here, Gundogan collects the ball from Grealish, ends up passing it back to Cancelo. I'll tell you what, in defense, we have everyone back. Jesus, the numbers are insane. Ball plays into flex and Fabianski collects it well. I think it is a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I agree. I think it is. That's the way it looks to me. Zuma at left centre back, Ben Johnson at right centre back, and then Cresswell and Soufal on each side. You'd love to see it, Belcar. I'm not going to say it now because it's a bit early, but at the same time, you know. Souček getting into advanced positions when the ball is played from goal kick, which you love to see with Declan Rice sitting a little bit, which is going to be necessary, but he's just completely outmuscled by Erling Haaland, whose touch, though, is heavy, and Zuma just absolutely punts it clear. Manchester City collect the ball in their centre-back positions, and again, they're there just to pass it around. Nathan Ake just almost refusing to pass it to João Cancelo there. Mikel Antonio just making a nuisance of themselves. We're pressurising relatively well, cutting out the passing lanes, not running ourselves ragged by any stretch of the imagination. You know, you look at Mikel Antonio and certainly say there were times where it looked like he was absolutely shattered last year, so maybe a little bit more of a conservative approach to that would be useful. And that seems to be what we're doing. We're sort of doing that same thing just to keep it going. We have a striker now, at least, to bring on. But they're passing it around at the back, still City here. This is the thing with Pep side we're going to get a lot of. Just being very patient, waiting. Phil Foden starting out on that right-hand side. Grealish on the left. Gutted to be missing this game. Flight boards in 5 minutes. Well, Dinkle, wherever you're going, I hope you enjoy yourself. I hope you have a grand old time. Enjoy your flight. And hopefully by the time you land, depending on if it's short haul, long haul, if it's a long haul, there's a big dub waiting for you on the other side. Hope you're well, though. Hope you're having a grand old time. Grealish tries to whip it in. Good header from Ben Johnson. It's going to be a huge game for Ben Johnson. I mean, I think David Moyes quite like Ben Johnson. Versatile defender, sort of know what you're going to get from him. Jared Bowen looking for a big old punt forward for Pablo Fornals, who initially just sort of waves it to Bowen to say good try, and then decides to try and chase down Edison, who just lets it roll up. But yeah, I think this is a huge game for Ben Johnson. He has stalled in his development, in my opinion, for a little while now. He's stalled in his development, never been the most hype-inducing player you've ever seen in your life, especially going forward. He just doesn't seem to have it. I mean, fair enough, he's a defender, right? You want him to defend first to some extent. But with his versatility, I think that's sort of a good thing for David Moyes. And in a situation today where we have a dearth of centre backs, he's getting a massive chance to play there, and potentially find a little bit of a little bit of clout for that kind of thing. It's a big game for him today. If he can work his magic against Manchester City today, as he did do, remember his first game, he played at left back out of position against Manchester City and played pretty well. If we can see another performance from that will do him the world of good with what has been a sort of iffy preseason, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Manchester City with the ball again, just passing it around, looking to try and find that space. Just the amount of people in the way for us is just insane. We've got claret shirts just absolutely everywhere. And this was what we saw the first time when we played Manchester City in the Cup last season, and we beat them in what was the best day. It was very much this, a stalwart defensive performance, lots of people in perfect positions. And so far, so good in that sense. Manchester City not really finding any sort of space and joy in that sense, although that's a nice piece of ingenuity and a hit from range with the left foot, but Declan Rice just straight into his ankles. He stops that. Nice ball over the top. Aaron Cresswell notes it down to Pablo Fornals, who just collects it and just tries to play it forward. Mikel Antonio wins a free kick. Good work. Good work. We'll take that. We'll take that off Diaz. Hard to get high about defenders, though. Yeah, Ethan, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Just needs the games this season. That's the thing. If we get sort of consistent game time out of him, hopefully starts to grow. That's a great point. I strongly agree with you there, Ethan. I strongly agree. Enjoy yourself, bro. Enjoy yourself. Big dubs. Come on. Let's go. It's happening. It's happening for you. Smeet. You've lost 100. How are you, sir? How are you? Hope you had a good week. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a good summer. Hope you had a grand old time. It's like first day back. Let's go. Let's go. Gav Dog, hello, first time here. Gav, you're welcome. How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you're grand. Hope you're looking forward to a big, if you're a West Ham fan, then I hope you're looking forward to a big West Ham dunk. And if you're a West Ham have had 8 successful passes so far compared to Manchester City 65 vibes. And if you're a Manchester City fan, I hope you have a great season and aren't looking forward to a big L today. I'm sorry about that, but good to see you. Welcome. Antonio looks like he's slimmed down a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little, Lewis, maybe a little. I can't say I don't disagree with that. I think there's something there. I've put so many double negatives in that. I've got no clue what I said at the end of that, but you know what I mean. City again playing it around. Just passing it about again, just taking their time. This is what they're going to do, and that's fine with us. You know, we played most of our strongest games on the counter attack. I know there was a thing last season and the season before that about David Moyes maybe being overawed in situations against top teams like this. And I know what people were saying, but I actually disagree. I think we put in very good performances against these teams and we played the correct way against them to a lot of extent because we are a counter-attacking side. And so if we can sit and stay hold and stay strong and then ping out at them, spring out at them, that's kind of the key to winning games like this if we can do that effectively. And that's what we're doing today. Kufal very nicely and on Grealish there, who decided to stay down and is being very emphatic about this, but even Manchester City are playing on, which shows it's probably not that serious. Sufal going in very strongly on him, and Grealish is insistent that his toes hurt. Boys cried wolf kind of situation. The fact he looks up at the referee gives me a little bit of pause for think he's not. Sufal maybe a bit lucky with that one. I think Grealish is maybe boy who cried wolf a little bit about it, to be fair. And a sarcastic cheer from the West Ham fans as he finally gets up and starts moving relatively normally. But I do think there's there's an extent there where Sufal's studs were up. I don't think it was nothing serious, but you know. Zuma battling with Haaland and then wins a second tackle well. Rice getting involved there, blocks it well. Good defensive work from West Ham. They're trying to break now. Thomas Tuchel punts it forward after it comes to him, luckily trying to break away. I think it's good defending there from Kurt Zouma. He stepped up to Haaland as City had the ball, tried to battling away, just held him off. And then when he comes into the second one, he just managed to stop that. And good pressure from West Ham forces Edison kick it out of play. You love to see it. He did block it with face. I thought it might have been his chest, but it seemed very much face. My mentor, Mr. Pardew, how are you, sir? We're back and we're ready for it all over again. What a Mr. Pardew, My mentor, I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good old time. We're going for another bit of Bell, people. We're going for another bit of Bell. Just a little bit. I'm trying to just sort of incorporate it into the situation. I don't know what I'm saying. Good interception by Declan Rice. Pablo Fornals on the overlap, just was screaming for the ball. Maybe should have got it significantly earlier than that. But it was a nice interception from Declan Rice. Nice ball in from Lanzini to his feet, but Declan couldn't quite get the control, and Manchester City can't away with it. Thing is, this is a situation where you've got to be a little bit concerned about Manchester City. And if they can ping on the counter-attack, Erling Haaland is absolutely lightning. And they are flying forward here with João Cancelo. Comes into the right-hand side. Maybe should have left it De Bruyne, but gets ball, controls it, hits it. Wide. Well, wide. Dangerous, scary moment there for Manchester City on the counter-attack. They can do that as well. They are not just a passing team. They can counter-attack pretty well. And they have some brilliant counter-attacking players on this team. Like I said, Erling Haaland is lightning. However, that time it bobbles to Kevin De Bruyne, the pass from Cancelo after an awkward first touch. And he decides to go for it. Poor goal kick in West Ham. Under pressure again. Manchester City trying to find a space. Grealish plays it out to De Bruyne, who whips it in brilliantly from that kind of position. Fair play to him, but well and strongly collected from your boy, Lucas Fabianski. We're good, Stevie. We're good. One down already. That one was for the season. If we need one for the game, they are here and they are necessary. I would agree with Stu. I would agree with you, to be fair. I do think they taste better. I would prefer a cheese string, but unfortunately, the Baby Bell is the lucky food, and we can't fight. We can't fight that. As much as I agree with you, we can't fight that. The sacrifices are. I like a Baby Bell anyway, to be fair, but. West Ham now with possession of the ball, passing it around in their defensive area. Big ping forward from Johnson to Bowen. Who was it? No, it was Lanzini, maybe. Offside. It was good ball forward, to be fair. Good ball forward. That's a great shout. My stomach would probably go a bit mad with that much cheese. I can't lie, but it's not the worst idea. But that's why I have like a cup of tea in a mug that you can get from hamsterchatstore.com. Next level mug, world-class tea in a world-class mug. You can get that, of course, on the store, as well as this, hamsterchatstore.com, and other mugs that I'm not drinking out of right now. Or the lucky oranges. The lucky oranges, of course, are the other lucky food, which my doctor again insists I should not be doing. But I don't have any today. But I did have a lot of orange juice, which is literally the problem. Ethan Ake on the ball. Manchester City passing it around. Cancelo in a very sort of central position of inverted fullbacks. Very exciting tactical innovation, of course, from the Bayern Munich years of Pep Guardiola. Johnson just hooks that one away. There is a tendency when we're in these games to sort of just punt it forward, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's a bit difficult to. We're sort of relying a lot on the. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. But basically relying on Antonio and Bowen to make a lot happen if we're just sort of punting it at them from defensive areas, which is understandable, but a stressful experience regardless. Played into a good position here to Kevin De Bruyne, who's crossed, deflects up off of Kurt Zouma, who defends well. And it's going to be a corner out on the right-hand side for Manchester City. That's our left. Mikel Antonio coming back. This is one of the other things I never liked. I understand it perfectly, but even Mikel Antonio comes back for these corners. And it's like we can't counter-attack effectively. But still. There's two people standing over the corner very excitingly. It's whipped in with the left-hand foot and just Fabianski collects it strongly straight into his hands. No bother with that one. Impressed with Ben and Lanzini so far. Yeah, same. I think Ben Johnson's having a good game. Good game. Like I said, was a little bit concerned, but I think he's playing well. To be fair, I think he's playing well. Skamaka didn't start Gav. He's on the bench. Starting lineups below if you need him. But yeah, no, he's on the bench. Unfortunately, he was deemed not match ready yet. But hey, hopefully we'll get to see him come on at some point. Yeah. I think we'll spend most of the games kicking it up towards the end. We'll go for it with Ben Rama. Probably. Well, I mean, we'll see. Like we've got a bit more. We've got a bit more in our game right now. We're sort of developing. I think that's a little bit exciting about this window. I think you can see sort of the signs of a plan B, a bit more development. You know, we've got a group of hardworking, good players right now at the squad and in the club, and sort of sprinkling that with a little bit of stardust with your likes of Skamakas and whatnot. Sort of something a little bit more to it, you know. Played out wide this time. Jack Grealish on the left-hand side, controls it, puts onto a stronger right foot as per usual. Ben Johnson gets a header. Wasn't the most convincing one in terms of direction, but a second one is a lot better from him. The fact he's getting his head on it at all is good. Good defensive positioning from him, at least for a game, for a position he's not used to playing. Manchester City again, just picking up the ball and playing it around. That's one of the things where you have Jack Grealish is you're pretty certain on this left-hand side he's going to just cut in and try to play it with his right. De Bruyne and good defensive work from Declan Rice, and then a slightly scary pass from Manuel Lanzini before Soufal manages to get it clear. But some good work. Mikel Antonio just trying desperately to get past. I think it was Ruben Diaz. Can't tell who it was. I think it was Diaz who was trying to stop him desperately. He just sort of bundles him over. Edison has the ball, and they are going to go back to passing it round. But it is. Listen, Manchester City's game to win in a lot of ways. They of course have one of their strongest, if not their strongest team out there. They are in complete control of the game in terms of possession and passing stats. It's just all Manchester City. And that's not a surprise. That's what it's like when we go against Manchester City every single time. And it's not just us. It's most teams in the league. It's most teams in the world. They're going to take their time. They want to put a statement in. It's in many ways their Premier League to lose. That's a good ball to Cancelo, trying to find a way forward, plays out wide to Phil Foden. Haaland's in there, thinks it towards Haaland, can't quite get his head on it, and he's got his head in his hands because that was a good opportunity for Erling Haaland. Cancelo picks up the ball, lays it out wide to Phil Foden, who again just dinks it onto his strong foot and tries to just put it in there. And Haaland getting in behind Kurt Zouma in front of Ben Johnson, who understandably is nowhere near him, and he can't quite get a good header on that, and it's wide, and he's frustrated because that was a good thing. Yeah, I think for this game, you're right. I think that is going to be what it is for this. Just pinging it forward, you know what I mean? It is what it is. There's Haaland again trying to make it work, and Fabianski has to come out and header it. This is a dangerous opportunity. Manchester City, Fabianski's got back on his line. Grealish maybe thinking about taking a shot, doesn't quite do it, laid off, and now West Ham have fully got back into positions well and quickly enough to stop Manchester City. There was a moment there which was a bit terrifying. Some of our goal kicks have been a little bit wayward today, but played out wide to De Bruyne, puts it in really nicely, and Fabianski does well. Just comes and just punches it clear, and he's taken a bump with it on the way, but good stuff. Good goalkeeping. Just comes out strong, poof, double punch. Out wide to De Bruyne, who collects it, plays it in with his right foot, the stronger one. Don't know who that is. I think it's Haaland flying in with a flying kick in front of Cresswell, who's been absolutely bullied out of the way there. Zouma trying to get the block. Fabianski, brave stuff, as you say, 100%. Just putting it clear, just punching it away. It seems that he's off to Everton as well. It seems there's another Everton signing. They seem to be splashing the cash. They seem to be trying to make it happen. It looks like Areola was just getting dressed there, so maybe he'll have to come on for Fabianski in a sec. We'll see. But yeah, I think it will be. Oh, getting a little water break. Love that. I think he will be going to Everton. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see Conor Cody here, but I don't blame him for going to Everton. He's going to start there. Here we have 5 centre backs. So you know, it is what it is. Cresswell body checking Haaland. Love to see that. Love to see it, Wally. Wally, here's a question for you. Are you going to get a Fredericks replacement, or are you just going to sort of let it lie? Do you know what I mean? Because I felt like after Hugo, I had to just let it lie. We'll see what happens. If someone comes along who takes that mantle, then that's fine. But for now, I'm letting it lie. What's your feeling in a post Fredericks world? What's your feeling in a post Fredericks world? Let me know. (31.2 degrees on the pitch. Not fun. Not fun. I can't deal with the heat in my room, and I've got massive curtains and a fan on next to me. So, and again, I'm drinking one Skamaka warming up there. You'll have to see it. Fabianski sort of hobbling a little bit. Listen, 5 subs. This is when it comes into play, you know? Usually this would feel like a wasted sub. I mean, we've got as good the goalkeeper on the bench than we do on the pitch, which is helpful. But secondly, it means we don't have to drop it, you know? You don't have to see it. He's sort of just testing it out. He looks in a lot of pain now, I can't lie. So I'm having a little conversation with Cresswell. The referee is sort of making sure he's okay. Haaland's just having a brief conversation. They seem to be jovial about it. Doesn't seem any menace in that one. But yeah, he looks like he's just sort of dealing with a drop ball. And here we go again. Fabianski to take it. So far, successful passes, 25 for West Ham, 198 for Manchester City. Possession for West Ham, 16% to 84. Manchester City's passing actually 19, West Ham's 60. It's that kind of dominance that you expect to see for a Manchester City team in most games, but we obviously play at sitting tight, deep defensive, counter-attacking, and that is just the way it happens. And in a game like today, I think Gio was potentially slightly correct, as much as I don't want to say it. Gio was potentially slightly correct when he spoke about the idea of maybe us sitting a little bit deeper, just making sure to hold and stay true when our defense is as shaky as it is at the moment today with our centre-back situation the way it is. So it's not unexpected. We did this against them in the cup and we beat them. So, you know, we just got to hold out here. We just got to stay strong. We got to try and just continue to play our thing. You know, just continue to play our game. And they're going to play their game regardless, but we have to just play ours to perfection. And that is sit tight, sit deep, stay strong, hit them on the counter-attack. Our counter-attacks have been 50-50 today. Some have been very good, some have been wonky, but we just need to make sure we keep on that. And actually, maybe Areola would help that to some extent. I think Fabianski's I think one of Areola's good traits is coming out, claiming stuff. He's strong at that sort of side of his game, which isn't something we're going to see too much of needed today, given how dominant Manchester City will be. But his other big strength to his side of his game compared to Fabianski is his distribution is significantly better. And in a counter-attacking team, that could be very good if we do have to see him come on for Fabianski at some point if he isn't able to carry on. But Manchester City here just passing it around as per usual in the middle of the park, looking for some way to go forward. They're just happy to take their time. And I've always compared a Pep team to netball. You know what I mean? One player gets the ball, they barely move. Everyone else sort of moves around them. Very netball-like football from Manchester City right now. Nathan Ake getting forward. Not Nathan. Grealish, if you see, that's those opportunities where Ake gets a bit outside of his box and goes a bit far forward, or Diaz does the same thing, where if we can get a really just good pass and Antonio and Bowen in the right positions, then all of a sudden it'd be good. And Gundogan's through. This is a good opportunity. He pulls it back. It's 1-0. Oh, offside. Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll take that all day. Offside. Kevin De Bruyne puts the ball in the net, but it's offside. Grealish picks up the ball. City just really well cutting us open there. Gundogan was offside, and that's why it was so good. Haaland with the ball through to him. Rice was surrounding him, as was Johnson, just trying to step up to Haaland. And it just, yeah, it's a definitive offside call there. It's all good. We're calm, stress-free. It's not a goal. Bing yourselves. It's fine. It looks like Fabianski is going to come off here. He's in a lot of trouble again. He just looks like he's in massive pain. The medic's with him. And I think we will be seeing Areola. So there you go, everyone. You wanted Areola. You're getting him. It might not be the situation we wanted to see him, but he's coming on, it seems. Areola, for his first game, competitively, since joining West Ham on a permanent. Haaland just coming across and making sure Fabianski's all right. And here we go. Areola has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Areola has arrived. So if you had 28 minutes as your sub bingo, then congratulations. I don't think anyone did. I don't remember it. Then congratulations. But it was an injury, as a lot of you predicted. Not ideal, but there you go. If we're gonna get one injury in this team, you would say probably the goalkeeper would be the best place to have it. That's a weird and harsh way of wording it, but I think you know what I mean. It would probably be the most beneficial place to do it. It seems we've got such a good deputy in Alphonse Areola, someone who most people would want to start. It's not the end of the world. And, we do still have Darren Randolph at the club for now. Nathan Trott exists. We're all right for goalkeepers. And so that's not the end of the world. It sucks, but it's not the end of the world. If you're saying me, then yes, I want more pie, please. Happy to see Areola. We don't need more injuries in the ready season. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, I've just seen some of you talking about Antonio, and I'm seeing him moving a bit hesitantly as well. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that develops. But João Cancelo on this left-hand side, as Manchester City are getting a bit more joy now. That's well done to take it past Soufal easy as you like, but the ball in was over the top of everyone, and Cresswell heads it away. And man, it was maybe a bit of call, maybe a better call, maybe stop that, made a bit more useful. Still, I don't know. It doesn't really make much of a difference. Antonio is down now fully. Antonio, I saw a couple of people talking about it in the chat. I think I saw James talking about it. Mickey injured. Oh, there you go. Yeah, James, there you go. Antonio injured. He was walking along, holding. He was sort of hobbling along weirdly. It wasn't looking comfortable for him in any way, shape, or form. I also don't think. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we'll see Scamacca coming from yet. But he was walking along. It looked not nice. He seems to be holding his knee. His knee does have that sort of tape thing on it. I don't know what it's called, but the tape where you see people rehabbing injuries and for extra strength, you see wrestlers with it a lot. Shout out A-Top Mark, subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, he seemed to. We're seeing a replay there. He jumps up for a header, and when he lands, maybe a little bit of a wince. I think it's his knee. I think it's his left knee as opposed to his hamstring potentially. I'd be surprised if Antonio's coming off, which it seems like he might have to at this point. Physio's on and helping him hobble off the pitch, whether or not that's permanently or not. I'd be surprised if Scamacca would come on. That would feel a little bit early for that to happen in his West Ham career. But listen, maybe that's what has to happen at this point. But Antonio's sort of doing some test runs now, seeing how he feels. We'll see how it goes. But Scamacca, maybe. I mean, I don't know who else would even come on. If I'm looking at the bench, you'd probably look at maybe a Ben Rama or a Vlasic coming on and Bowen taking up the role up front. As much as we don't want to see it, it could be the answer. I don't know. Deploy the Macca. You love to see it. Don't know. I guess it's a Sun thing. I don't know. I don't ask. I just whatever. It just happens. So no, Antonio has come back on. He's sort of on the left right now. You can see him testing his knee as Manchester City do their thing, passing it around. They've been getting a little bit more ground over the last 10 minutes, concerningly. We've defended relatively well and defended relatively strong, but that, like I say, that last 10 minutes or so has been getting more and more Manchester City in better positions and finding those spaces in and around the defense. I think if you're Freddie. Hello. Chill, though. If you're Erling Haaland, for example, just stand practically on Ben Johnson. You know that's the weak spot. Try and play in there. Cuts on Mark Noble, by the way, on the up in the stands. What a man. What a man. Bring him back. Bring him back. Antonio sort of still moving around a little bit. tentatively. It's difficult to tell with Antonio because he's been moving sort of semi like that for a while now. So it's kind of difficult to see if he's actually struggling or not. I can't really tell. But he does look to be moving at least, whether it's well or not. I don't know. It's the 33rd minute on my screen. Shout out to Peach, my G, if you don't know. West Ham Random was his YouTube channel. A close friend of mine unfortunately passed away during the summer. And there is a GoFundMe available for him. I'll try and find the link and send it and give it to you now, actually. If you haven't already, make sure to check it out. Peach, listen, we wanted some sort of applause thingy for him. I'm not going to sit here and applause for a whole minute because it would be an issue. No shots on target for every team here. But link in the description. Link in the chat right now from me there. Peach's GoFundMe. If you haven't already, check it out. Anything helps, but also shout out to my guy, to my G, Peach, and all that. One man. And shout out everyone who's given him props in the chat. I've also seen the word penalty. That's not bad. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh my God, I've just seen the words penalty and then Areola sent off. All right, well, let's see what happens there. Cancelo plays it in towards Gundogan through to Erling Haaland, who's taken down. It is a penalty. We're going to see I'll see the replays and see what happens. But Areola has, according to you, I'm not looking at the chat now to see exactly what happens. But it seems Areola has been sent off for Erling Haaland and it's a penalty to City. Gundogan turns, plays the ball forward beautifully. And Areola does just clear him out. Haaland does really well. Look, it's a penalty. Is it a penalty? Yes. It's as clear a penalty as you're ever going to see, in my opinion. He goes across, he clips him. It is what it is. Is it a red? No way even close to a red. Now, if he does get sent off, I don't know what's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be a penalty. I don't think there's going to be a card. I don't think there needs to be a card. If there is, it should just be a yellow. But it looks like it's going to be Erling Haaland to take it. Hopefully he doesn't get sent off. Haaland steps up. Slots it away. As cool as you like. 1-0. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's 1-0 Manchester City. It's 1-0 Manchester City. It's Erling Haaland with the goal. It's not entirely a surprise. Like I say, over the last 15 minutes, Manchester City have certainly been gaining ground. They've certainly been getting in much better positions. Certainly been looking a lot better. But that ball through from Gundogan just finds the space, slots it through. And then Erling Haaland with the pace to get in and around. Like I say, he is incredible. He's just got everything, Erling Haaland. He's a big guy. He's a powerful guy, but he's just as fast as he is strong. Gets into a really good position, and then that penalty is as good as you like. Slots it in. Slots it perfectly in the bottom corner. And unfortunately, it's 1-0. It's 1-0 to Manchester City. It's Erling Haaland. 36 minutes on the clock. And now we need to fight back. This is not what I wanted. Like I say, when we were starting really well in that sort of first 5 minutes, that was what we needed to do. If we could get an early goal, then that meant we could have a little bit of relaxation time to sit back and to sort of deal with it. Because this was going to happen. The way this game is playing out was going to happen at some point. Manchester City would take complete control of it, would have a huge amount of possession, would have camped inside our box. Essentially, that was going to happen. So if we could have got that early goal, that would have meant that we could have had a little bit of luxury to sit back, to chill out a little bit and deal with it. Unfortunately, what's happened is we didn't get a goal. We stepped off relatively quickly and Manchester City took complete control of the game. And now they've got a goal from a penalty, which is, a penalty. Ben Johnson being outpaced there by Erling Haaland really well. Playing their way in. Manchester City looking again for the space. Erling Haaland again battling for it. Ben Johnson does well, but it is going to be, I think, a free kick right on the edge of the area. Referee waved play on before bringing that one back. Once it was shown, there was no advantage. So now we're in a little bit of an iffy situation here. Declan Rice with the foul on Phil Foden. So now we see what we've got. Now's the time now's the time. Now's the time to step up. Now's the time to make it happen. You know, if there ever was a time for Moyes to show his stuff, now is it. Basically, is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say. Like I said, I expected a loss. We were talking about it in the build-up. I expected a loss today, but listen, it's not over. We showed that we have the space. The problem is now, of course, is that Mikel Antonio is walking on the pitch injured. So we'll see what happens. But it's a free kick. Gundogan standing over it. Cancelo's there, but you'd suspect and be shocked if it wasn't Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, Gundogan tries to slot it through. Just hits the wall, hits the block. Defensively, we've not been as good as we should have been in the last 20 minutes. We were in the first 20. I felt like we were doing really well, but since then we've fallen away quite significantly. And the fact that the Gundogan pass Gundogan's a great player. Nothing against him, but the fact that Gundogan pass could go through to Haaland for the pen shows that. The thing is now it doesn't change anything for us. You know, we don't. Look, we'll see. Last season, this would happen. It wouldn't change anything. We would carry on exactly as we were before. So far, that seems to be exactly what's happening. But we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have a little bit of pep to our step. No pun intended. Foden does well. Jinx on the inside. Plays it in. Not a great ball. Nodded away. Not very convincingly, but it's away. And that's the point. Very high foot there from Ruben Diaz on Mikel Antonio. Look, I can't exactly disagree with you. Let's be real. I can't exactly disagree with you when you say that. We're struggling. That's as clear as all for all to see. But it is Manchester City. It is a Manchester City who have improved, who have upgraded, let's say, from last season. And we are a team who are, downgraded from last season to a certain extent, given our centre-back situation today. And so I can't disagree with you, but it is what it is. Yeah, fit Steve. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. I can't lie. The chat call for it. I give you lot the power. You know, you have the votes. Three people voting for it, and then I'll bring in the 50-50. But your guys' decision, not mine. Your guys' decision, not mine. Edison whipping that ball forward, looking for a ball. Looking for Grealish, who's been very heavily involved today. And he's got the pace, but Soufal has come storming back and stops him well. A nice foot in. Cancelo on the overlap picks up the remnants, however, tries to step to Soufal, who just quite frankly says no. But the ball towards Bowen is just way too far away from him. And Manchester City collect it with Gundogan and can regain possession and start their passing movements again. It is what it is. Cole, if you're looking for a way to watch the stream, there are definitely ways you can go about watching it, sir. Or madam. Have a gander. Yeah, look, it's not going to be easy. It was never going to be easy, you know? It's Manchester City. They're one of the best teams in the world. They're the best team in the league. They're one of the best teams in the world. It is what it is. They're passing the ball around again here in defense, looking for Grealish. Grealish has been so heavily involved today compared to Phil Foden. Cancelo, nice spread across to Phil Foden on that right-hand side. Nice dink with the back heel, looking for De Bruyne, who pulls it back poorly. I think Haaland was there. Nice turn by Declan Rice. And now West Ham maybe with the opportunity to break here. Mikel Antonio just loses out pretty succinctly there, and Manchester City can go again. We can't really. This is the problem in this sort of situation when you're playing a sort of Cancelo hits it from range well wide. This is the sort of problem when you're in against a team like Manchester City who are so unbelievably good at everything. It's not just the controlled possession; they can hit you on the counter attack like they did, or can quickly play through the lines like they did with that. Gundogan just controls the ball, turns it around, and just the space between Johnson and Rice just opens up massively. Declan Rice just doesn't really commit to either of them. Johnson's not really too close to Haaland. When you're playing against a team like that and we play the way we play with a counter-attack, you need to commit people forward. It's asking a hell of a lot of Mikel Antonio and Jared Bowen, for example, who are starting to show signs of frustration there. Starting to show signs of frustration. Jared Bowen looking to play the ball through to Antonio, a little bit of miscommunication. But if we are just punting it at them and hoping those two can do it, it's a lot. So really what you want is you want the rest of your team to get up and around to sort of support them, your fullbacks, your other midfielders. But in doing that, you leave such a huge amount of space for Manchester City to, step up into. Lanzini picks up the ball off Jared Bowen there, who's tried twice to make the run, gets it the second time. Nathan Ake stops Jared Bowen well, and it's a goal kick. Correct decision. Well done by Ake there, to be fair. It's really difficult. It's really, really difficult. What do we do? Is it halftime subs? We're almost at halftime. What do you guys think? Do we make subs? Is that what it is? Is there a different formation you want to try? Like, what do you do to come back at this Manchester City team without leaving you so unbelievably open that they'll just cut through you, especially in a situation where we have basically no centre backs? What's your opinion? I'll put the subs bench on the screen just in case you think that's the answer, but I'm interested to see what you guys think. It's City, bro. I don't disagree with you, but it's City. It's what they do. We always do it against Manchester City. West Ham collecting that one well on the halfway line, back to Areola. Now, just very quickly, I've been seeing beef happening in the chat. I haven't really been able to figure out what's happened. But I'm going to say, let's end it on You Love a Cuck X. Let's just end the beef there. Let's just end it there. We don't need it. Let's just end it with You Love a Cuck. Because, I don't know where else to go from there. So let's just call it quits. Different formation needed. Bregos Kamaka at halftime for Antonio. 40 passes. Yeah, that's stress. That's a stress stat. Sub, no. We just don't have flair of someone who can carry the ball out of defense. No comment, Jesse Lingard. No comment. We'll see, Alex. I think it's way too soon to talk about the other two. We'll also have a better squad for those teams because we'll have potentially centre backs back. Cornet will be in the team. Skamaka will be closer to being full fitness. Do you know what I mean? But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Randolph on for Areola. Bold, Jasper. Bold. That's what's a cuck. I'm not the okay, so a cuck, I'll explain very quickly before Gio turns up, is someone who enjoys watching their partner have sexual intercourse with someone else. Cuckoldry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry if there's any youngsters watching. It was difficult to tell. I couldn't really see. I think there was conflict going on, but it ended with "You love a cuck." So. Manchester City with a ball passing it around 4 minutes of extra time, stoppage time being played in this first half. Like I say, it's just difficult to figure out. 4-3-3 Skamaka on for Lanzini. We're lacking creativity. The team isn't bad. They just need to wake up and not give away so much. It's just poor. I think that's the thing is we revert when we have the ball, we revert to punting it long. And a lot of the time it does just sort of give up possession. And because we haven't got that, because we're not committing people forward, because we're so scared of what will happen, rightly so to some extent, but because we're so scared of what will happen, we don't commit people forward. And so when we do try to play the ball around, there's just not many options. So we're forced to pass to people who aren't in the greatest of positions. We're just making the passes more risky than they need to be. Antonio and Ben Bowen just basically on top of each other there. We've got a free kick in a good position here off of João Cancelo, but on Jared Bowen there is an easy free kick. But let's be real. They were both sort of running around next to each other there, Bowen and Antonio. And that's the sort of thing where it's frustrating, where, again, we don't have that many people in advanced positions. And so we need the options to be strong. And when the two people who are most likely to get your goal and to be in and around those attacking positions are stood next to each other, then you've basically got one passing angle. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. But what can you do? Craig Dawson for Antonio. I wish. We've seen with clips it works. And yet here we are. Masterclassless. Yes, it's marriage. Marriage is the word, Martin. Played in, didn't beat first man, headed away by Manchester City. It's exciting. It's exciting. Difficult. Frustrating first half. Frustrating first half. I haven't actually looked at any of the stats today. I might just pull up who scored now and just have a little gander. A little gander. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let's test the who scored button. Will it work? I hope it will. Oh, it does. Look at that. Let's have a look. So, I mean, what's the shots on target been? It's only been the one from Manchester City, and it was the Haaland pen that scored. What else are we saying? Let's look at possession, shall we? 80% touches. Who's been struggling for touches? I've pressed the wrong button there. Ignore me. It's not a surprise we play on a counter attack. Look at Haaland comparatively, but still 7. Rough. As the dog says. Yeah, again, it's not really making it happen in any way, shape, or form, are we? Pass success. Antonio yet to make a successful pass. You love to see it. Has Antonio tried a pass? He has. He's tried one. He's failed. There is the halftime whistle. Halftime whistle is Manchester City 1, West Ham United 0. So, you know, it is what it is. It's not the best viewing you've ever seen in your life. Key passes. It's not really what you're wanting to see for the most significant of extents, is it? If we're being honest about it, not really what you want to see. But at the same time, are we shocked? Are we shocked? I would say no. It's Manchester City to some extent. Like I said, I think we were going to struggle to keep them out, and that was the biggest difference. I felt like we would be better going forward. I felt like we would have more of a pivotal impact going forward than we actually have in the end. I think it's been a massive struggle in that sense. But you know, like, it's Manchester City. What can we really do when you don't have any centre backs? When you don't have any centre-backs, you're sort of hamstrung yourself. We've only got Zuma in the entire squad for centre-backs. You could make the argument maybe you play Declan Rice there, but maybe you play Declan Rice there. Maybe you put Downs in midfield. Maybe, I don't know. This is the problem. You have to sort of think through 18 different answers for the same question, which is, what do you do? I don't know. Gio, how do you feel about the half?
It's not great, is it? Like, it's difficult to sort of analyze. I think if it was 0-0 to come on here saying we're doing really well, you know, out of possession, we're difficult to break down. We're not often very much in possession. We're barely getting possession. When we do, we're not doing too much with it. However, at 0-0, I would have been happy. But it's not 0-0. We're 1-0 down. So, therefore, my sort of feelings and mood switches just like that. As soon as City concede, it's a case of, well, we're not doing enough, really. I think City are unbelievably class. They're very difficult to play against. But I just feel like we're offering them a little bit too much respect here. I think I don't mind them necessarily having 86% possession or whatever it is, because it's mainly around the halfway line. So I'm not that bothered. They're not really challenging the goalkeeper as such. But I think my biggest frustration isn't that. It's in regards to when we do get the ball, it's just give it back to the keeper and boot it forward and give them the ball back. And, you know, the one or two times when we have actually got at them, we've done all right. You know, the first 2 minutes we had a chance. Jared Bowen there taking Cancelo on in the corner, getting him in the book. Well, let's keep going at Cancelo. He's on a yellow card now. Let's spend 45 minutes giving the ball to Jared Bowen, our best player. Well, alongside Declan Rice, our best player. But from an attacking sense, he's our most influential player. Up against their weakness in the back four, I would argue, on a yellow card. There's an obvious area of the pitch to go down in the second half, which I don't think there was until Cancelo just got a yellow card. So we need to see a lot more in the second half, Charlie. But the problem is, Haaland, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, he just gobbles up that pitch. So the further forward we go, the more space we leave at the back, and he's just going to ruin us defensively. But we've got to go for it. There's no point losing 1-0 and not laying a glove on Man City.
I think that's the thing, right? Is you're in the delicate and difficult position of where you either sit back and try and defend as much as you can, which is what the temptation would be against a big team regardless, especially when you just don't have centre backs, or you try and step to them and try and make it happen, but that leaves that space. And when you're a team like Manchester City, who can counterattack just as well as you can play the possession-based football, partly because you have Erling Haaland, but partly because they've just been good at that for a while anyway, it is very, very difficult. I understand why people, because some people have said the exact same thing as you in terms of we're giving them too much respect.
We are.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, what do you do? Like, I don't think, like, I think when you go forward, I think something Ben Affers, Tom's brother, was in the chat saying, was talking about how much we're giving the ball away, exactly as you're saying. And I 100% agree with that. Part of that problem is we're not committing anyone forward. And so you when you go forward, all your passing options forward are basically Antonio and Bowen. And although I agree with you, we should be concentrating down that side, when they're stood next to each other, then you've basically got one passing option. You know, there needs to be some sort of movement and difference there. And there was towards the end of the game, there was literally, or towards the half, there was literally a point where they were standing next to each other. And I was like, bro, that means you've got one passing option, let alone City, who are relatively good at taking down passing options anyway. If you both just stood there, it makes it's really difficult. Now, my Charlie Walsh in charge, you go for it. Screw it. What's there to lose? You're probably good. It's Manchester City. You might as well go for them anyway. If we lose 5-1, everyone's going to go, well, it's Manchester City. It's what happens, right? You might as well bloody go for it regardless. But I don't think Moyes will ever do that. And it's difficult for me to get passionate about it when that's kind of what I expect, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that. I think there's a way of going for it without overcommitting. I think my frustration is I don't necessarily mind sort of the long ball direct route against Man City. I think it's possibly the right tactic to do because you flood forward in numbers, you're just going to expose yourself. But you look at Fulham yesterday against Liverpool, they were playing sort of direct football, if you like. But whenever they got it, they were trying to hit it in behind Liverpool's defence, stretch their defence, and it was working. And Fulham were committing 3 or 4 players forward at most. That was it. But it worked, and it was a case of get to Mitrovic and let him hold it up, and then we'll push up slowly. And I think down our right-hand side is where we can get forward, because Grealish will not track Soufal every single time. He will occasionally just let Soufal run. Now, that possesses its own danger in the sense that you lose the ball. Grealish is now in acres of space. But I think we need to try and get down that side. And I don't mind Antonio playing alongside Jared Bowen, but like you said, there was that one point. I know what one you're referring to. I think Lanzini had the ball. And Moyes was almost pointing and saying, put down the right. But the problem is Antonio and Bowen were running into the channel a little bit. But I've got a little concern with Antonio. He doesn't look great after it. Obviously, you can see the way he landed. It looks sore. But I think since then, he doesn't look great. So if he is injured, then let's get the big man on. So there's options on the bench. Obviously, we've got 4 subs left. I'd be inclined to make a sub at half time because we can only stop the game twice in the second half now. Is Moyes going to make 2 subs, then 2 subs? It's unlikely. Is he going to make 3, then 1 again? I mean, there's not even really 5 subs we can bring on.
I mean, that's assuming he'd do 5 subs anyway, which I don't think he would. But
yeah, I think I'd gamble it. I think I'd probably take on Downs for Fornals and push Souček forward. I think we're struggling to retain possession. The one attribute that got banded around left, right, and centre as soon as we signed Downs was best pass success rate out of the English football last season. We're not looking for creativity from him. We're just looking for him to keep the bloody ball. You know, we're not doing that. You know, at times we get it and we're just hurrying it. We're panicking a little bit. And there's only 1-2 of our players, Lanzini, I think, while he hasn't been in the game, a couple of times he has got on it, he is actually somebody that does actually look composed on it. He's the one that's saying, right, let's just keep it West Ham for a couple of minutes. So, yeah, I'd probably try and get Downs on and maybe take off Fornals, who I think is struggling a little bit out there. He's working hard, but I mean, he was in a foot race against Rodri. He's not the quickest player, and he had a half a yard head start over 4 yards and got beat by half a yard. So I think I'd like to see Souček. If we are going to go long ball, we are going to go direct, fine. But let's try to get Souček up the pitch a little bit so he can start contesting these against Nathan Ake as well.
I agree. I agree. Right. Enjoy yourself. I shall be back in a mo.
Right, let's see what you're all saying in the live chat. Get your thoughts in on the first 45. If you've already put them in, get them in again because I've not seen it. So I'm going to turn to the live chat for the next 5 minutes while Charlie goes to the bathroom. Let's have a look at what you're all saying. Samir wants to see Souček and Finals off. It's not Souček's best game, is it? Didn't touch the ball until 12 minutes and 9 seconds. I only noticed that because after about 8-9 minutes, the commentator said Souček is yet to touch the ball. So I was like, oh, keep an eye out for when he does it. Working hard doesn't mean he's playing well. I know, that's my point. Like I said, I would sub him off. I think he's working hard, but that's all he's doing. Ineffective is what I would say. Rebecca says, don't know if Scamacca is the answer. I know people are calling for him to come on. Desperation probably, isn't it? I think we just need a bit of spark. We don't really have it. We're looking a little bit bland, aren't we? Mick says season starts next week. Well, I'm glad someone else said it. It's it's going to get banded around this week, isn't it? We can't compete against City with a side. Face facts, we need you. But I know we had Dawson, but 10 of that starting 11 started against Manchester City and me when we drew 2-2. We were unlucky not to win the game. So I think we could compete, but I just don't think we are competing. So says Bowen is still to come true to his true colours. I think he's looking okay. I think just get the ball to him as much as possible. Get it to Man City are doing it whenever they can. They're getting it to Jack Grealish's feet. He's just pushing Sufal back 5 yards and then passing it. That's what we need to be doing with Jared Bowen. Get to Bowen's feet and say, there you go. Run at Cancelo. Push him back. If he tries to tackle you, there's a chance there's a foul coming and you're going to ask questions of Mike Culver. Doug said 1 pass per minute on average is not good enough regardless of the opponent. See, I don't mind not having possession as long as you're effective with it when you do get it. But I think we're just conceding it far too easy. There was a couple of times where we'd get it, go back to the centre back, go back to the keeper, and just kick it down the pitch. And it was a bit like, we're just conceding it a bit too easy for my liking. I made the right choice. I feel like 90% of the time the keeper gets that. Alan's go. Do you know something? I don't think he had much option, Ariola. I think if he doesn't come out, Alan's got a shot 6 yards out. He's probably going to score. Like you said, 90% of the time he will get it. He's probably the fastest striker in the league. Him and Jamie Vardy are probably the 2 quickest strikers. If he does that against Harry Kane, he probably gets there in time. It's just a bit of a shame, really. It was a not big opportunity for him. James thinks Finals' passing's been all right. He's just too slow. Don't see him on the way. What I will say about Finals, did the cross for Antonio's header. It was a fantastic cross. I will say that. Dean says he wishes Moyes has the balls to put Scamacca up front and Antonio on the left. Thomas wants to see Ben Rama, Scamacca and Vlasic. Ian says put Vlasic on. It's probably his last game. Scarborough wants to see Scamacca for Antonio, Downs for Souček, and Ocoflex for Finals. Scott says, while Charlie is gone, what a tease he is with his manly locks. I like his log here. I do. A rugged, old-fashioned man. Just pure specimen of male caveman. Nick says he wants to see an actual break and get some corners we aren't going to possess, so we need to just hold. I don't disagree. I think that's part of the plan. We're just not doing it very well. Let's see what you're all saying. Callum says bringing on Scamacca won't help. We can't get it to him. Chippy says Johnson's done all right covering. His only mistake was sort of Haaland getting in. I need to see it back, though, to see how off he was. But there was one point Haaland made a run and Walker joined in. And Zuma was just standing still. He hadn't a clue what was going on. And Johnson was the one that bolted over. Ariola came out and slid and caught that one. But I do think Johnson's doing not too bad, I have to say. Like I said, penalty incident aside, I need to see that again. I know I sound like a certain former Arsenal manager. I need to see that one again. But generally, I think he's doing all right. Jonathan says, good news. We will only be 3 points off the top of the table and Manchester City will be out of the way. Wayne says, hardly do anything when we are hardly getting the ball. Summarises my thoughts in the first half. No Wales A says, no one in the team seems to call for the ball. We have a semi-allergic team to the ball. Let's have a look what the rest of you are seeing. Andy says Souček isn't effective. That goes for all our attackers as well. Rhino says it's embarrassing, 15% possession. Another injury is just what we need. No player looks up for it. Won't be surprised. I mean, you do feel Man City has another couple of gears they can go, don't you? Corky says, wondering if Avi will ever get criticised like Fabianski would have been, not blaming him as fantastic movement from Haaland. I don't think Fabianski would have got too much criticism for that. I can only speak for myself here. I like to think I'd have said the same thing for Fabianski, which is Haaland is just too quick, and like the previous comment, he's just quicker than 90% of the players in the Premier League. James, why do you think we look so slow and laborious compared to last time against Man City? Just a case of rustiness? Well, I don't think it can be. You know, we had 7 pre-season friendlies. Man City had 2. They had the Community Shield as well, so they've had 3 games. John Stones and Phil Foden, I know Stones hasn't started today, but Foden has. Foden didn't play in the 2 pre-season friendlies in America because he wasn't able to go. But he started today, so it can't be down to much sharpness or anything. I'm not having that as an excuse. We had plenty of time to prepare for this match. Adam says, hopefully it makes us up our game in the transfer window, while James says we're chasing shadows. Malik says they know it has to go to Antonio to get Bowen started, and they're getting away with throwing him to the ground. There's been a couple of free kicks being given to Antonio. I just don't know if he's a bit broken at the minute. Megan says, gutted for Fabianski. Horrible time to have an injury. Not wrong. Johnny says, Downs will bring a spark of energy, get him on for Souček, and he'd also like to see Vlasic on for Pablo Fornals. Hamster says, let's hope the ref in the second half is better. I thought he did all right. I thought Michael Oliver's been having a good game, to be honest with you. Tell you what, Soufal got off with one. That should have been a booking any day of the week. I think he's doing all right. Dave G says City aren't even playing that well. If the second half they click, it could be a long 45. You back now, Wash?
Yes, the teams are just coming out. Find out before you go. Score prediction.
2-1 Man City.
Okay.
I think we'll get the goal, but I have to agree. I think City have got a gear to go yet, or 2 gears to go. I just want to see something, Charlie. I think we've got half a game plan and it's not really working. So I just want to see a little bit more of a game plan in the second half and us sort of work that plan well, if that makes sense. But I just first half just been a little bit underwhelming is what I would say about the first half. We barely touched them, which is the most disappointing thing. Just have a pop. Second half, have a pop. We don't need to have 50% possession in order to have a go at them. There's a halfway point. I'd like to see us in that middle point somewhere.
All right, I respect that. Well, thank you very much, Gio. Appreciate it. If you want to hear more of actually someone who's smart and not me, then make sure to come back at full time because Gio will be doing a full live match review straight after full time. However, the match has kicked off again. No changes for West Ham at halftime. It seems, however, there was a little conversation happening between David Moyes and Gianluca Scamacca. So maybe we'll see him sooner rather than later. Although Manchester City's flying through instantaneously, almost getting in and around the goal there. Thankfully, they don't. But there we go. Second half is underway. We've got to have a pop. I agree. We've got to go for him to some extent. So, Samir, big time. Let's just have a pop. Have a pop. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Apart from them absolutely demolishing us, which is going to happen anyway. So just go for it. Like Gia said, I'm not too fussed about the possession stats and all that sort of stuff. That's what I expect to get Manchester City. It's more just the frustration of not having anything more to our game. That's the big problem, you know. Exactly, Stu. Exactly. Listen, there's always a chance. Any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance. You know what I mean? Man City, when winning at halftime, stats playing games 33 wins, 22 draws, 1. Good, good. Love to see it. Love to see it. Manchester City starting the half, much like they ended the first, with just passing it around. Ten Hag by a significant distance. Yeah. Bad is the answer to that. Bad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Hit that bell notification before you do as well, so you don't miss out on any future streams, because, of course, I do this by myself, and so I need you here with me. Otherwise, it's just, Otherwise, it's just a mess. We're at 272 likes so far, 300 to go, and that feels imminently approachable today. So make sure to get on top of that. And remember, last season we were the only West Ham channel to have done a watch along for every single game without fail. So hey, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of them. Because like I say, without you, I'm nothing. I do this by myself, so I need it. I need it, Scott. I wouldn't imagine it, mate. I wouldn't imagine it. Manchester City with the first sort of half glimmer of a chance there, passing it round, and Kevin De Bruyne's ball wasn't bad, but there's just no one there really to even get on the end of it, and we get a goal kick. It's going to be interesting to see if anything has massively changed in the second half. So far, it's just been Manchester City on the ball, so no. But in terms of approach to how we play, it would be interesting to see if there's anything significantly different. Maybe Thomas Souček getting a little bit further forward, like Gio said, I think would be an interesting idea. Something I would love to see. He's so dangerous in the area. It's almost a waste not having him there, to be honest. But because he's not the best defensively. He's fine. I think he's fine. I think people underrate him defensively, but not by a significant amount. It's just when people go, he's awful. I don't think he's awful. I think he's just fine. But in this sort of formation, in this sort of situation, he's basically just reduced to a stick in front of the Manchester City players to annoy them, as opposed to actually causing any sort of significant issues. So at that point, you might as well just have him a little bit further forward. And he seems to be getting just a little bit further forward in the beginning of this half, but not by much. Pablo Fornal seems to be out on this right-hand side a lot, which is interesting as well. He's just want to throw in off Nathan Ake. He seems to be on this right-hand side a little bit more with Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio. Jared Bowen almost more central, Mikel Antonio on the left. We'll see how that develops as we go, whether that's a positional change or whether that's just a momentary thing. West Ham lose out. It's going to be thrown to Manchester City. What's your views on the new kit? I bought Madman the new home kit as a late birthday present. It's grown on me. Don't like the sleeves on the away kit though. I don't mind either of them. The home kit specifically, I'll be honest, usually I'm not super keen on the home kits initially until I start to see the players. Oh, Cresswell's looking a bit iffy there. I don't know. Cresswell approached from behind by one of the City players and sort of looked a bit dodge. I don't know. Usually when the home kits come out, I don't get convinced until I've seen them on the players a little bit. But this one, it caught me instantaneously, and I really, really like it. I can't lie. I really like this home kit. And the away kit, I think, is fine. I don't mind the sleeves too much, to be honest. It's just not the one. Kyle Walker going down onto Manuel Lanzini, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. He's annoyed by it. They seem to be a City sort of getting in and around in a bitty manner right now, and West Ham are reacting slightly to it, getting a bit more annoyed. The crowd are certainly getting frustrated by it. Listen, that was a noise I just made. I think that's fair. People who say they don't like it, I 100% understand it. This is one of my favorite ones we've had in a while, but I understand this for me. This is for me the ugliest and worst set of kits we've had in a long time. See, I think it's totally fair. Don't get me wrong. That's one way of putting it. Orthodox. I'll take that, Samir. I'll take that as one way of putting it. Do you think Cornet would have made a difference for us today? Probably not. Cancelo trying to play the ball in, easily cleared away by Johnson. I mean, he would have been. It's not for me. It's not the individuals today. It's the tactics, right? Don't get me wrong. The individuals do have something there. Good throw in by west Ham. One to take it. Can we actually do something with it? Love to see that. Throw it in Manchester City's half. We're gonna take our time and do some tactics. Very exciting. Yeah, for me, it's not really the individuals. Don't get me wrong. I think they have a part to play in it, but I look at today's performance and I think it's much more down to the tactics than anything else. It just is what it is. But again, it's Manchester City. I'm sort of almost just discounting this game and just sort of waving it off to some extent, which is probably naive on my behalf. Would have had an effect in the sense of just having a new signing on trying to prove something in an attacking position would have been fun. But, you know, maybe Fornals plays the central role instead of Lanzini. You could put Cornet on the left, for example. Something interesting like that. I don't know. Moyes always sorts teams out defensively before anything else. Seems like sometimes we're still stuck in that first stage still. Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the centre-back situation isn't helping. I think this season felt a little bit like we were starting to step out of that a little bit. Once we had signed Aguerd, I felt like it was a beautiful opportunity for us to start to transition a bit more than that, start to get a little bit further out of that sort of realm. Because I agree with you, it feels like at times we've been like that for a while. But realistically, now we have no centre backs apart from Kurt Zouma fit. It feels like we're back to chasing centre backs and looking at left backs and everything else. So it's just like just plodding and waiting, and it's annoying, but I understand it. It's annoying, but I understand it. Judas, my trustworthy friend, I hope you're well. Oh, Lanzini, it's a good opportunity. Plays it in. It's a great opportunity for West Ham. Declan Rice on the edge of the area. Antonio plays it across. Fornals pulls it back. Declan Rice hits it. He's playing rugby. Bless him. It's gone high. Judas, my trustworthy friend. There you go. Good opportunity for Declan Rice, but he absolutely belts that one above. It was awkward from Manchester City. Just terrible passing from goal kick. Dinked in. Antonio controls it down. A little bit of miscommunication, maybe a little bit between him and Declan Rice, but it ends up falling to him on the edge of the area and leaning back. He just completely and utterly pile drives that one over. Nowhere even remotely in the vicinity of the net. A really nice opportunity, and that's the sort of stuff where we're going to have to take an opportunity. But it's a really good sign. As James says, we're gonna score. I feel like we will. I feel like there's something to get a goal in this. I feel like you could say the same about Manchester City, but I feel like there's something there. That's a great opportunity for us. But it's what it is. Phil Foden does really well against Cresswell there, but Declan Rice just comes back and collects it. Loses out very almost sillily, but he wins it back well. Good defending, Declan. Good defending. Now actually passed the ball successfully this time. There you go. He's completed the pass, ladies and gentlemen. He's done another one. It's very exciting. It's all very exciting here at the London Stadium. Ball forward to Soufal. The crowd roar, trying to force West Ham forward. Instantly passing back. You love to see it. Very exciting. Out to Aaron Cresswell. West Ham trying to get a bit further forward. The crowd forcing it in. Aaron Cresswell with an early ball, which was a bold play from Aaron Cresswell, but Ederson drops it almost straight into the feet of one of West Ham's attackers. It doesn't quite manage it. And now Kevin De Bruyne with an awful pass straight into Souček. Pablo Fornals picks it up. Antonio was making a run, doesn't get found. Lanzini, he's going to shoot from range pointlessly. I don't know why he's doing it, but it happened. It happened. Nice ball from Declan Rice, a little bit too far ahead in the end for Aaron Cresswell, but it was a nice try. Rodrigo just picks up the ball and plays it forward well. Manchester City looking a little bit shook up here. Their passing has gone a little bit all over the shop, a little bit wayward, and West Ham keep winning it back. But this is a really nice opportunity for Manchester City. They've got the numbers forward. It's through to Haaland. Plays it. Gundogan tries to pull it back for Haaland. It was a very Manchester City pullback type situation. And West Ham collect the ball. Declan with pace. Under there, amigo. Come on, let's go. Jesus, man just picked up the ball and stood still with it. Like, ball over top looking for Bowen, can't quite get there. Ederson comes out, collects it, but then an awful pass and it's a throw-in. Come on, this is what we're talking. A bit of pressure and they're starting to make mistakes. A bit of shakiness. And a double substitution. David Moyes is feeling saucy today, ladies and gentlemen. A double substitution. It's Said Benrahma and more importantly, Gianluca Scamacca coming on. 57th minute is when the substitute happened. So if you had 57 minutes on the old Scamacca bingo, then congratulations. I can't remember if anyone did, but congratulations. And Said Benrahma also coming on. So Mikel Antonio's gone off for Scamacca and Benrahma has come on for Manuel Lanzini. Scamacca on, ladies and gentlemen. It's happened. The new guy is in. He's around. Time to play. We've been putting him under some pressure now, and now it's time to maybe step to him and make something of it. That's a good ball over the top, looking for Jarrod Bowen. He's trying to get the better of Nathan Ake. Manages to battle for it well, but can't quite get there, headed away. It's going to be another throw, and we're doing well now. We're doing well. It's happening. It's happening. I'm going to trust you, Adam. Congratulations. Congratulations. 16 goals in 37 games for Skamaka. It's on screen right now. No assists. You love to see it. Gonna need some bit of that today, Skamaka, please. Bit of those goals would be nice. It's a big, big man in the center of the park causing problems. City is struggling a little bit here. We need to be pressurizing them now. You know, they have the ball. I mean, it's fine to be just covering the passing lanes like usual, but don't let them settle into a rhythm, which is what we're doing a little bit there. Gundogan does well there to win a corner. I can't lie. He's just, to be fair, he was outpacing Ben Johnson, which again is slightly concerning. But he was outpacing Ben Johnson, who had the advantage, who had the position, and try to just stop it. But bit of a body check from Gundogan, and it's going to be a corner out on our right hand side there, left. See people standing over it again. Maybe a short corner option, but probably a whip in. It looks like potentially from Gundogan here. He does lay it short, but to a much further away option. It's put in from a nice angle, but way over the top of everyone from City. And it's going to be a goal kick. Trust me, look at my face. I can appreciate that right now. Arthur Marston. Here you go, my friend. Have a gander. What a game, by the way. What a game. Foden trying to play his ball forwards into Haaland, can't quite manage it, and West Ham can come away with the ball now. Ball played out wide to Ben Rama, but can't quite get the control. Johnson's pass to him was lacking. Ben Rama's control was lacking. 60 minutes, and we're showing good signs here. The pressure seems to have died down a little bit. There was like a lot there for a moment. There was a lot of pressure happening. We're forcing them into a lot of errors, a lot of nice just harrying from the boys. But we sort of dimmed that down a little bit now, and it's getting to a little bit of a stage where we're struggling. Still, they seem to have got a bit more in their rhythm again. Manchester City, that period of mistakes seem to have gone, and they're now just sort of passing around. I mean, even Kevin De Bruyne made a missed pass in that moment. Yes, Gab, you got to have faith. Is that how this one goes? Skamaka, I think, yet to have a touch as Manchester City have regained possession and control of the game completely. That moment is sort of completely past right now. And it's just Manchester City passing it around as they were. Skamaka getting in and around with the pressure. You love to see it. His first event for West Ham, as it were, marked down as a foul. You love to see it, just pulling Ruben Diaz down. We need to be pressing. James, you're right. I think, yeah. Because we're not pressing them anymore. Charlie started pressing and they shat themselves now. Look at them since we stopped. Yeah, 100% agree. We've now gone back to just sort of waiting for them to give up possession. You know, because it's one of those things where we spoke about it all last season, where the tactic from West Ham in general is we sort of press a little bit. We sort of press and try to stop their passing. Oh, that's a nice ball through to De Bruyne, who tries to pull it back across. Haaland's there. Gundogan's there. Neither of them can put it on target into the net, and it's wide from Gundogan. It was a pull from De Bruyne, looked quite early. It was spread across to him from Cancelo really nicely. Sorry, it's to Foden, and he picks up the ball. And that sort of through ball is a lot of vision to be able to find that sort of pass. The idea to put it in like that, and it's difficult to do with the body shape he had as well. He puts it into a great position. Haaland just can't quite get there, and Gundogan, I don't know if he was expecting it or not, just tries to pass it back across the goal into the bottom corner. Can't quite find it. But yeah, it's Fornals. to Souček, out wide to Soufal, plays it in. Jared Bowen gets his head to it, can't quite do it. Benrahma hits it. Into the hands of Edison. But ladies and gentlemen, shot on target. Shot on target. Oh my God, we've had a shot on target. You love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see it. Yeah, the tactics thing. We spoke about it all last season, but the tactics in general tend to be, we're happy to close down passing lanes and make it sort of vaguely difficult when they're passing it around inside their own half and inside their own area. But the second they sort of get to the halfway line, we revert to just a block, just compress and just sort of stop anything from happening. And we do that with every single team we face. That's not just Manchester City. We do it with sort of every team we face, right? And the problem is with Manchester City is they're really, really good. And so they basically just sit inside our half and make it difficult and scary for us. And so when you do that, it becomes a case of, all right, well, we just have to sit back and activate our press like that, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. I'm getting a replay of the shot on target, which is very exciting because my definite not stream in my holiday home in North Idaho has failed. So I've had to click to a different one, which means we're about a minute behind where I was. So look forward to me catching up soon. But yeah, hey, a shot on target, very exciting. So many chances to put quality shot there. At least Benny went in the correct decision. Yeah, that's fair for once. Activate the bell on 68. We're getting bell chance. We're getting bell chance now. I'm feeling it, Charlie. I'm feeling it. It's bell time. You heard it here first. 2 bells. If you get another bell shout, then I'll be lobbing that in there. What are we at? 42. What was I at? 14. Let me just get ready to click on that. Played down the line for Manchester City. Phil Foden. Oh, he manages to keep it in. Fair play to him, but it's straight into the feet of Aaron Cresswell. West Ham passing it calmly away. Although, again, just options not really there. And West Ham now putting themselves under undue amounts of pressure. Areola does well to try and find Soufal there. Slowly passes it sideways. Would have liked a bit more verticalities than that. That's fine. Souček spreads it out to Benrahma. There we go. We're now in time. Benrahma trying to come forward. Aaron Cresswell down the left-hand side. This is nicely worked by West Ham. Ball's not great, but Bowen does manage to head it back across. Not quite. Thomas Souček on the ball. Lays it short to Vladimir Soufal. Skamaka's in there. He's looking for him maybe. Fornals can't quite find him. Cleared away. Ben Johnson collects the ball. Zuma. Declan Rice. Benrahma. West Ham passing it around relatively well. But City, I tell you what, we've got really good positions there. Every single passing lane practically closed down. It took a risky ball, but we've played it off. I mean, we've instantly gone backwards again. So all of the risk that we took to try and get the ball in that position has been completely and utterly dismissed. But that's fine. Down the line, 2 side. Benrahma takes on Walker, puts it into a good area. Skamaka was there, can't quite be found. This is better from us. We're actually finding some sort of opportunity. We are committing people, though. I can't lie. There's 5 people chasing this ball down random from us right now. De Bruyne slots it forward for Erling Haaland. That's brilliant. He's through. He's 1-on-1. That's a goal. No, there's no way he's missing that. It's 2-0. That's brilliant. It's easy as you like. It's easy as you like. It's 2-0. That's exactly what Manchester City would have wanted. I said we were committing quite a few people forward. And to be fair, it wasn't that bad. It still took an absolutely brilliant through ball. I think I want to say maybe it looked like Kevin De Bruyne, but to be honest with you, we'll have to see in the replay. But the ball through to Haaland was absolutely just perfect. And it just completely cuts us open. And having someone with that much pace just in behind. He's standing on Ben Johnson. The ball gets played into Kevin De Bruyne, who looks up, sees it. The slot through pass is absolutely perfect. He just flies in. He flies away from Ben Johnson, who he's standing next to, in behind Kurt Zouma, who's nowhere even close to him. Opens up his body and with his first touch, just opens himself up. Left foot, slots it in. Literally 1 touch is all that took for Haaland. Not 1 touch shoot, just literally the first chance. When you have a player as good as Kevin De Bruyne to put the ball in behind like that with the vision, the weight of pass to just put it perfectly into the strides of Erling Haaland, who doesn't even have to break his stride, turns up, turns around with his first touch, left foot, slots it home. It's almost unfair. It's almost unfair. But it is what it is. It's Manchester City. That's what happens when you have the most amount of money in the world. And it's 2-0. I'm trying not to sound salty about it because it just is what it is. But it is 2-0 Erling Haaland with the second goal of the day. And, yeah, we were doing all right. There was a moment there where we had something. Then we very quickly didn't have anything again. But, what can you do? What can you do? Ah, well. 2-0. 2-0. Hopefully that doesn't stop our stride. If we can get a bit more like we were just doing before that goal, there was a 5-minute period there, as you just said, there was a 5-minute period there where we were looking all right, where we were doing a little something. Okay? If we get a bit more of that now, then maybe we can get a goal. Maybe we can get a goal. Shout out to everyone who said Erling Haaland would flop. Yeah, big time. Like I say, when you have a player as good as Kevin De Bruyne, who can put it on a sixpence like that, just like the weight of pass is just the vision to find the through ball, the weight of pass to put it perfectly into that position, and then have someone fast enough to get in there and on his first touch slot it in. Just is what it is. There's not much he can do. Not much anyone could do at that point. Bell. All right, we've had enough calls for the bell, so I'll lob the poll in chat. See what you're thinking. First bell call of the season. While we're there, by the way, we're at 293 likes. So if we can get 7 more likes in the next sort of 20-something minutes, mate, we've hit our target. You'll have to see that. But there is a poll in chat now. I will wait until 70 minutes on the dot, and we'll see where we go. There may be a bell on. Maybe we may be about to bell, ladies and gentlemen. First match of bell of the season incoming potentially. Harsh. I wouldn't say it, Major, for fear of my life. For fear of my life. At this point, we'll take it. Haaland, probably. I mean, I didn't watch the match yesterday, and I've only seen the match of the day highlights, and even then, I was falling asleep while I watched him last night. So I have to go back and watch it properly. But I think realistically, Haaland, because he's going to start every game. He's going to be in that position every game. And again, when you have someone as good as Kevin De Bruyne, it's just difficult to admit that it's going to be anything other than him, but still. Sufal takes down Jack Grealish, to which Jack Grealish gives him a which in your head be it, Jack. Let's be real about it. On your head be it. Andy Townsend on commentary just making a good point about how both the goals today were exactly the same in terms of the through ball. The through ball pass, Grealish hits it. The screen has skipped forward, so I'm just going to give it this. And there is the end. Let's have a look at the poll. What's the poll saying? 76% of you said it's time to bell, so it is time to bell. Don't waste the bell. Save it for Forest. Listen, we're going to have bells for Forest, but it's time for bell. Right? So give me a second. I'm going to have to run to the fridge. Give me half a second. Give me a minute. I'm just going to grab a bell. Bell acquired. Here we go. The silent snack. Always an exciting time. And hopefully it can do something for us. You know? Hopefully it can do something for us. The bell was here, ladies and gentlemen. Has it come back? I had to touch it. It's a question I would like to ask. City passing the ball around as calm as you like. that almost as red as my face is. You'll love to see it. Pabas is down. Here we go. All in one for the thing. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's a nice bit of build-up play from Skamaka there, dropping deep and laying it in. West Ham playing the ball around nicely. I know there's a Skamaka thing coming. Oh, he's played into good spirit. He hits his header. Oh! I think he was offside called, but flipping out. Got into a good position there, and it was a strong header. Pablo Fornals with the ball through, and it's a good, strong header. Can't quite... It would taken a lot from just the edge of the area to get a free header like that, power-wise, past Edison. But he does well, and he's Edison at full stretch to stop it. But turns out it was offside anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference, but there you go. We did say, you know. Suchek getting in well there, stopping that now. Maybe a little bit of a chance for a break forward here. Probably a mile offside there. Yeah, he was. I agree, Glenn. I agree. Can't lie to you. A pedigree chum sandwich, my halftime tipple. Martin Duggan, you are mad. You are wild. Oh no, not at the festival. Although nice, solid moves. I know someone who used to work at the festival and used to get free entry. They used to have like you have to do certain hours on shifts and then you get free entry. But no, I was just in the town. I've been on holiday for the last week in various places in the southwest, in which I was at the end. I was in the town, so taking in the vibes that I don't quite understand, but I appreciate that they believe it so strongly. You know what I mean? Grealish and Bowen were both down there. Referees pulled back a foul quite late on it for Manchester City. Grealish got up, but Bowen stayed down. Grealish sort of under a bit of pressure from... Ooh. Doesn't look comfortable from Bowen at all. But Grealish under pressure from Soufal, who, quite frankly, Soufal's been all over him this half. He's just stopped him from doing practically anything. Just every time he comes up to him, just bang, no. Pushed him a little bit, and Grealish goes tumbling into Bowen. He's still hobbling a bit, but I think he'll be fine. Looks like he's going to be good to play on. Dink over the top from Manchester City finds Kevin De Bruyne. Zuma just trying to mark him. Rodri under pressure from Fornals now, going back to Ake. Again, this is what we need. Just harry them. Stop them from just passing it around at will. Because I'll be real with you. Like, that's all we need to do. Like, don't get me wrong, there are incredible passes. You know, people like De Bruyne can find... De Bruyne, Gundogan, can find space where there is no space. You know, it's just insane how good they are. Oh, Haaland again, just getting in behind, but Ben Johnson does well. He's not had a bad game, Ben Johnson, to be fair to him. Like, there's been times where you can see it's not his position and he's not super comfortable there. But in general, I think he's done all right. Haaland again on the edge of the area, laying it short to Grealish, who under pressure from Bowen goes backwards. Well, he finds the space well, though, to find Gundogan, who tries to take on Soufal. Beats him, but the ball in and there's literally no one there. And Cresswell has time to control it and clear it to Saïd Benrahma, who loses out, trying to touch it around Kyle Walker. And Manchester City regain. We've got to put it under more pressure for them, man. Like in positions like this where they're just passing it around, we've got to put possession on them. Because like I say, as good as they have, as good as some of those passes are, as good as your De Bruyne's and your Gundogan's are at passing and everything else, like realistically, they're not incredible at it, but we're giving them the space to do it. We saw that earlier on in this half. If we put them under a little bit of pressure, just put it on them a bit, they'll crumble to some extent, at least, and start to make some mistakes. And we need to be doing that a bit more. Skamaka, Fornals, Bowen, Ben Rama, get in and around them, make it difficult for them. And right now we're not. We're just sort of giving them. We're just basically conceding the whole pitch up until just outside our area to Manchester City, and then Grealish drags a shot wide. It means that in reality, if you're just giving them that much of the pitch, then they're just going to get up to your area and then wait. And then there's just way less opportunity of them screwing up a pass. Take it to them. Make it a problem. Make it a problem. He was at the back of the stage watching the bands while lights and stuff were being unloaded and stuff. He's over in Germany now. So his high earlier was interesting. Man's just out going about his business about the town, / Europe. I respect it. Like I said, I did know people who used to work there, like would do like a 5-hour shift and then would have a free pass for the rest of the weekend, sort of thing. So it makes sense that if you're someone who does who could deliver lights, you could probably get in there, What a grand old time. Haaland now off, along with Gundogan from Manchester City, both coming on. And just in case you thought, oh, good, that's fine. They've brought on Julian Alvarez and Bernardo Silva. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, basically major, yeah. I mean, Liverpool was slightly less so, but still unbelievably difficult. You can't lie. We can't lie about it. I agree. Anyone else hoping for a demolished job for all points and Penny and Link for Ling's thoughts on how he has realized the money, etc., was more because he was playing to go down rather than up the table? Well, I don't blame him for going to Nottingham Forest. I seem to be the only one who doesn't really care about it because there's a lot of people. For example, there's a lot of people I saw who, while saying they don't care, act like they really care. So, what can you do? He's gone now, so there's no point talking about it. 10 minutes left. Well, 11 minutes plus stoppage time left for West Ham to try and get something from this game. Probably not going to happen, but that's fine. Alvarez nods it down to Jack Grealish, who decides to go backwards instead. Again, just conceding so much space. Even then, Jack Grealish had the ball, and we were just backing off. Just step to him. Seen with Soufal, the answer with Jack Grealish is just take him out because he's not. I think Jack Grealish is overrated. I can't lie to you. I'm not saying he's not a very good player because he is, but everyone else talks about him like he's the second coming of Paul Gascoigne or whatever, and it's like. He's just quite a good player. But then again, I think Mahrez is overrated as well, and I seem to be the only person in the world who thinks that. So can't really talk about it too much. Thank you, GP. It's very kind of you. Very kind of you to say. I don't even know who I'd say for man of the match. We'll get to that in 10 minutes, but. By the way, shout out to everyone. 308 likes. We managed it. Thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. Hit from range from Rodri, and it is wide. It is wide. I'm going to skip significantly forward because I've just changed definitely TV stations and not anything else because I'm in North Idaho. Don't ask questions. Man of the match, you can't see past Haaland. Shoulder. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think from a West Ham perspective, it'd be a different conversation, obviously. But if you're just looking at man of the match entirety in the game, Haaland. Ben Rama tries to put it in, just well blocked by Diaz, to be fair. Bernardo Silva trying to play it forward to Jack Grealish, back out to Bernardo Silva on his left-hand side. Soufal's just there trying to stop it. Out wide to Phil Foden on the right now. Got an overlap moment from Walker. At this point, they are literally just passing the ball around. It does feel very much like it feels very much like a foregone conclusion at this point. It's difficult because this is how it's been the entire game. Like, it's not really been too different. It has been like this the entire game. But when you're in the 83rd minute and Manchester City are just sort of passing it around kind of with no real verve or zhuzh or purpose, pace, it does feel a lot like it's just a foregone conclusion. There's an opportunity for either team to score. If you said to me that Manchester City score another goal, I believe you. If you said to me that West Ham score a goal, I believe you. But in terms of the actual result, I think it's just a foregone conclusion at this point. Still, Manchester City passing it around and West Ham daring to get relatively close to Manchester City's players as they sort of quite calmly pass it around amongst themselves in defence. Kyle Walker getting a little bit tied under there, and they're forced to punt it clear. Manchester City. Unfortunately, it works out perfectly for them, and they've bypassed all of our press with Julian Alvarez. And now Manchester City can come forward. Go on, Deckers. Just dispossessing Kevin De Bruyne from behind like it was nothing. Bit concerned how far forward he was, but let's go. Why not? Jarrod Bowen trying to take it past 2 there. Manages to win a throw-in because of it. We'll take that. Got cramp there, Declan Rice. Just Zuma making sure he's okay. Benrahma puts it into a decent position, and the recovering Rodri just cancels that one out there. Benrahma gives away a foul by the corner flag. I'm enjoying the crowd. I'm enjoying the cameras just cutting to Erling Haaland's dad in the crowd as if him leaving the stadium is something everyone needs to see. But there we go. What can you do? Yeah, look, it just is what it is, man. I agree with you. Look, I felt like it was a foregone conclusion before the game. I said that, and 2-0 is significantly better than I could have predicted. I'm just like, whatever, it is what it is. We move on to the next game. The next games are much more important. Palmer's going to be coming on for Manchester City now. The next games are way more important. With this, it's more a case of just like, this is essentially another preseason game for us to some extent, of just trying to work through the kinks, trying to find a bit of space. It's the first time we've seen Scamacca in a West Ham shirt on a pitch at all. Next game, we're going to have Cornet in the team. We might have potentially a centre-back back. It is what it is. If you said to me before this game that we would lose by 2 goals to Manchester City with the possession and passing and all the stats that they've had, but we only had 1 fit centre-back in the entire squad, I wouldn't say I would take it, but there would certainly be a pause for thought to some extent, And so at this stage, we move, we move. Like, for example, the commentator there has just said, if West Ham aren't careful, Manchester City will just keep the ball for 4 minutes. That's fine with me. Like, I don't really care. Like, we're not going to score. Probably not. We're not really committing anyone forward, so the chances of us scoring are highly unlikely. And so if they don't score anymore, whatever. It just is what it is. Who cares? This City... I've got opinions people don't like about Manchester City in the Premier League, but they're basically my Bayern Munich, but worse. So, And by worse, I mean they win more times. Anyway, played down the line, pulled across. It was good block by Ben Johnson again. He's done all right. Let's talk about that, right? I think Ben Johnson's done okay defensively. I think there's been some pressure on him. Don't get me wrong. I think there's been... it's not ideal for him to be playing there in any way, shape, or form, but I think he's done all right. There's been a sort of... I don't think he's had a great preseason in any way, shape, or form. I've never really been sort of super into Ben Johnson. I don't think Ben Johnson's the best player. I think he's all right. I think he's fine. Calvin Phillips and Riyad Mahrez are also coming on for with Palmer for Manchester City, for De Bruyne, Foden, and someone else. We'll see. So Foden and De Bruyne, and I think it's Rodri coming off for Calvin Phillips. Shout out to the disabled team. Palmer and Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, like he hasn't had the best preseason. I've never been super enamored of Ben Johnson in general. I think he's a good player. I think he's quite a relatively fine player. He's pretty average. He's good defensively. Going forward, he's poor. So balance that out, I say pretty average or whatever, but good because he can play in a lot of different positions. West Ham, born and bred, so positive in that sense. And so I think to see him play today, I think he's done relatively all right. It reminds me a little bit of the first game against Manchester City he played at left back, where I think I wouldn't have gone as far as to say he played super well or anything, but I think he played all right. And that's a big positive today, considering again considering how bad it could have been with only one centre back. Ngakia was better than Johnson for me. It is what it is. Yeah, I liked Ngakia a lot. Way better going forward. Is what it is. Harvey, it's just not true though, Harvey, is it? It's just not true. First of all, 2-0, it's not getting battered. That's getting beat. Secondly, what are you talking about, bruv? What are you talking about, bruv? We got to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Where did you get to, blood? It's a good try, though. Come back here. I think that's probably harsh. I wouldn't go that bad. I don't think it's been a total embarrassment. I think there's been signs of a fight, but not really much. Not really much endeavor, not really much adventure, no risk. I'll agree with you there, but I wouldn't go with that. I wouldn't go that bad. It is what it is. We're in stoppage time now. 3 minutes of stoppage time to go. West Ham have a couple of subs looking like they're about to come on. Alvarez trying to do something, puts it in, and it absolutely demolishes Kurt Zuma's head. Cresswell, Benrahma, and the referee all come to check on him. It was, I think it was Palmer who has the ball, chops in onto his right hand foot. I've done it again. Onto his right foot and hits an absolute pelter. And it just clears out Kurt Zuma's dome, bless him. I will say chill out with the... Look, Harvey King's here. He's here to troll. Respect it. Harvey King come back with a better troll. I will say if you go at him in a way that's inappropriate, I think you're doing something worse than him, and I will time you out or whatever. So chill out, all right? I will just say that in general. Let's leave it there. Because in reality, it's embarrassing enough that he supports Spurs and comes and tries to trolling a chat when we're only losing 2-0 to the best team in the country. Like, it's not that deep in the end, Harvey King. You should have seen some of the predictions for score predictions before the game. It's not that deep. That's embarrassing enough for him. If you try to reply in a way that is like inappropriate or whatever, just basically what I'm saying is don't. I'll put that out there now. It's just a thing before anything happens. But Downs and Coventry are coming on, which is very exciting. My TV connection definitely keeps crashing. We're seeing Fornals and Jared Bowen come off for Coventry and Downs. So Bowen coming off. So we really are just playing for the 2-0 at this point. So, all right, whatever. enjoyable. And with 1 minute away from the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen, I will now ask you for your man of the match. Whoever gets the most amount of votes in the chat, as I see it while counting, just sort of in my head vaguely. There's no science to this. This is all vibes. We'll win the Hammers Chat Man of the Match award. While you're all there, make sure to subscribe to the video and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any future streams, because we were the only West Ham channel last season who did a watch along every single game without fail, and that's only possible because of you lot. I sit here and do this by myself, and so without you, it literally wouldn't happen. It would be me being a weirdo by myself. So I really need you lot here. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on future videos, and like it as well. We ended up getting with we're at 317 now. We might get a little bit more before the end. That's flown past our target of 300. So thank you very much for that. We'll of course be back for the Nottingham Forest match next week, which will be very exciting. I'm sure one man won't get brought up endlessly in that chat, so that will be fun. And hey, maybe Craig Dawson will be back to 2-foot him. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's see who you think the man of the match is as we come to an end of this. Make sure to stick around as well, by the way, because we will have a full match review in just a few moments' time. Haaland, yeah. Skamaka, why not? Cheers, Ismail. Appreciate it. Skamaka, let's have a look. Anyone else? Ben Rama, he had a shot on target. Fair. Full-time whistle has gone. Double from Haaland is what it is. Probably Haaland. Skamaka, man of the match. Thank you very much. If you haven't already subscribed to the Disabled Team, do go and do it. Great dude. Great Lee's channel, making it happen. And I'd highly represent it. Also, they do these shows with a couple of West Ham fans with Kieran and Titch, and they do like a transfer thing. It's really good. I would recommend it. I watch them all. I think they're great. 92nd minute subs, brilliant. Man of the match, me. Thank you very much. Bro had a shocker. I agree. I'm all cried out. Proverb, the wise who wins. David Allison Moyes. Give the man some likes. Thank you very much, James. I appreciate it. Ben Johnson, I guess, all over. Rice saved us a few times. Definite man of the match. Me again. Thank you. I appreciate it. Man of match, the lads providing water to keep the boys from exhaustion, chasing City on the field all day. Not wrong, Jeffrey. It's a great shout. Rice saved us a few times. I feel like I clicked that one. I'm going a bit mad. Haaland, Skamaka over Antonio all the time. Haaland. From a West Ham perspective, having a look. Thank you very much. Again, thank you. My back. Just please look for Manchester City results against other teams. I think that's a fair point. We'll give it, I'll tell you what, we'll give it to Skamaka, because otherwise, from a West Ham perspective, it's probably going to be me. So I'll give it to Skamaka. Congratulations to Skamaka for your first Hammers Chat Man of the Match award. You nailed it. You nailed it. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is it for today. We'll be back, of course, next week for the Nottingham Forest game. But before that, don't go away, because Gio will be live in just a moment with the full match review. Once more, thank you to our friend from Korea for the 2001, I think someone said it was. I apologize if that's wrong. I'm an idiot, but I appreciate it nevertheless for the full-time fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it ends, unfortunately, Manchester City 2, West Ham United 0. But hopefully Dawson will be back next week to 2-foot someone, and we can all watch it together and enjoy it. Until then, enjoy Gio's full match review where he actually talks sense and not what we do. See you later, everyone. Come on, your irons. Bye. Stay well. Bye. Bye.